space while you died. Thank you.
Space created.
Great space.
Someone was dying in this top lane.
Yeah.
I think you had to just permanently pull waves. Was probably your best bet.
Yeah, like Fisher blocked the first round, grabbed the second wave. You had to make it messy, which is something that OG did in the bottom lane. They made this bottom lane as messy as possible, resulted in an
We
early
will
kill
see.
for them.
Akankah OG
Here, the strength of the
pulang
does
guys
win
ya.
out.
Nice little kill with the tombstone pop. You get the Lotus, still have a blood grenade in your pocket. Sven is going to be giga free farming this game. That's the upside for Huligani here. You last pick this hero against Darkseer. It's a free lane. Don't really have heroes to go down there and challenge him. Again, if you can build stacks up, then he's going to accelerate even more.
How early do you think he gets a blink dagger in
Kalau
this game?
secara dari
Like, if
keeper
he is going
kalah
to be totally free farming, they may not have an initiator.
CC-nya
Like,
juga
do you
kalah
think
sih.
that responsibility falls to him?
I think he can just go Mom Echo Blink. He's totally fine here. We say how fast, it could be really fast just because he's giga farming.
Tapi gimana sih case-nya? Kalau case-nya jadi,
So you can have a really nice timing here. As Corrupted, you are maledicted and you are done.
Yeah, it's just so unfair because you can't really go and pull waves and stuff very easily as the core. You can't back farm because
nggak tahu tuh
just so
sebanyak itu bisa
it's
nangkap
like trying to do
komnya
it
nggak?
against the Monkey King, right? He can kill the wave under tower and then, use his mobility to catch you while you're trying to farm between the tier 1 and tier 2.
It's just too easy for the chase down. You really have to be wary of feeding extra kills to these two carries right now, as they're going to try and pull ahead of each other.
Oh my god, he's just going to die again, I think. It's going to be a lot of damage if they can get another round from Natsumi, but nah. Okay, he's all right, he lives, but jeez. Still trying to get that Helm of Iron Will. He's so close to it, but he is being punished for not having that armor item right now. Oh, Fisher attempted, but no. Yopaj zips over it still, though. Got the power rune, and that's the important part. Keep this Storm Spirit from being able to snowball the side lanes with power runes.
He's always going to have full mana with this Coddle on the map. So you really have to deny him the runes if you can. Nice
Saya cuma bakal ngeganggu-ganggu doang
little
ya.
something that the Shaker is doing in this game because he's not able to do a whole lot else. Might be dead? Okay, nice TP. Ooh, that is close. Fairy Fire.
Fairy Fire to stay alive, which he doesn't have much net worth, so that was actually a large share. That was almost like 10% of his net worth he just blew to stay alive.
Is it even worth it, though? This Centaur is getting eaten alive up here.
And they're going to take Wisdom. Fortunately, the Undying has already planned for this, though. So it's going to be steal on both sides.
Serannya udah ditungguin dua-duanya.
aren't going to run away with a massive experience lead.
A lot of extra levels off these Centaur deaths, though. The Sven net worth looks fine. It's an XP advantage for OG right now.
Maybe a tower advantage too at this rate because they're just going to run down your Shaker again. Going back to, we talked about the Storm Spirit can make moves unimpeded. Well, they can dive towers with this trio, knowing that, who's going to stop them? Is the SF going to TP in and Requiem them? Not really.
That's the downside of this lineup. There's no turnaround potential in the early game. Very slow, very
pindah ke bawah mereka.
time. OG are taking advantage of it.
They're not even going to let the Centaur farm these camps, man.
Oh, why would you?
Oh my god. A blast lands off of the Maledict.
Raj is like, take a timeout, please. What's going on up there?
Be enough. Corrupted does have the Helm of Iron Will, so he's got some HP regen that may combat this Maledict damage over time.
I need a couple more right clicks here. I don't know if they'll get it.
Yeah.
They got his Madstone, though. Some little extra juice here.
That's true.
He has nothing. He just has absolutely no game. And this was my concern with this Dr. Kesling. Throwing two melee boys up there.
Good bait there. Kind of got Raven to use his TP.
Who's killing who here?
He was sitting on the side here. They will get him. It was a bit of a close call there for respect, but ultimately, level 6 Darkseer goes down. That is really nice for those supports who obviously have had no game whatsoever. But while you're showing there, guess what's happening to Mirage? Same thing that's happening to every other lane. It's OG aggression pounding you into the dirt.
That's that top lane bleeding over in the mid now.
Yep.
Mirage is like, come on, guys. Why did you have to feed this dude? Now he's going into my lane. The game's starting to break open a little bit.
Yeah, take the offlane tower by 7 minutes, and they don't just back up to farm their neutrals. No, they say, let's have some impact on other lanes, too.
This game's getting really scary for Huligani. You can afford some deaths here because
Bikin
your
mampus,
lineup's going
ya.
to scale, and it's like a little greedy, but this is getting to the point where it's a little too much, and this Kez is just going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, if SF dies again here, which is very possible. This will also snowball the Galvanized stacks for Yopaj. He's got 4.
Pretty much guarantees him power runes, too. Almost impossible to contest these unless you're going to bring...
Yeah, that's true.
Bring Sven into it? Is that even a thing? Doesn't sound like a thing.
I think you're getting to a point that you are going to have to make that play call, you know? You're going to have to stack
like
some
it.
heroes on some part of the map, like punish OG in their aggression. Because otherwise, this is just going to be this is going to be the forecast for the next, like, 20 minutes. Is them just running you down, diving towers, killing you, and you could do nothing about it.
I would love to see OG just collapse on this mid lane. Like, there's nobody who can sit here without dying. And they have great heroes for just running everybody from multiple sides, backstabbing that tower, taking the objective, opening up even more space. This is absolutely the point of attack. You have a 10-minute power rune coming as well. You could look to fight on this.
Yeah, look at the Sven. He's come
they're gonna
over
bring
to
him.
try and protect this.
Tungguin
I like
rune-nya.
this idea. Unfortunately, it does not work out for them.
Tapi
In
rune-nya
fact,
di atas.
Mirage might even die for this one. They drop the tombstone, forcing OG back. A Fissure hits 2. Some zombies spawn. Huligani will stay alive, and we'll call that a win for them, because...
Yeah, shield rune for Yopaj. He's not sad about that at all.
No, not
Now
at all.
tombstone down. You can
And he's
go.
just going to fearlessly jump the SF with this shield rune, knowing that they can't really do much to stop him. All they can do is Stampede to try and run the SF away. He will get out for now, but with the tombstone on cooldown, now Stampede on cooldown. Yopaj still thinking maybe he has enough juice there to catch up to these heroes, but they're out.
There's the 5-man collapse, so guarantee that mid tower.
Yeah, don't get the heroes, but you can get the tower rather easily.
There's not a lot of downside to these moves for OG other than
Oh,
spend farm,
Sure.
which is kind of an inevitability. I don't think it's super easy to rotate heroes down here and prevent that happening till later on. By then, you can vacate the area.
And you've got some answers to Sven, right? You've got Blinding Light, you've got Surge, you've got things to kite him, things to prevent him from bursting down a hero right away. And just levels and gold will also make these heroes tankier.
I do think you want this last tier 1. Now's the time to probably kick him out. And we'll see if Huligani decide to try and defend this. It's pretty tempting. Oh, they're just instantly out of there. Okay.
Sven sat there and he said, my Undying is half my levels. I don't think we want to take a team fight, boys.
Well, one way to look at that is Undying's behind. The other is Sven giga chattering.
Yeah. Requiem underneath the tier 2. Fissure landed a double raise to get the kill. A bit of an
Shutdown.
overextension there from Yopaj, baited in by the support Shaker. Very nicely played by Huligani. Still going to lose something, of course, because, well, that's just kind of the game it is. Even when they win, they still lose.
Instant respawn off the Ceaseless Dirge.
True.
Not too bad.
But it is a kill and a tombstone kill, so a lot of gold. And, oh, nice dodge there from Natsumi with the Raptor Dance. Gonna force Corrupted to use to Stampede, or I guess he's just gonna die.
Yeah, the tick out. This matchup's so bad. Oof. It's like every time you make a little progress in this game, the Kez pulls ahead even more. Just a disgusting amount of early net worth on Natsumi here. He should absolutely feel like he's just going to 1v5 this game.
Yeah, 3,300 gold gained in the last 5 minutes.
His Deso is going to be so fast. He got the dagger as well. This is an overwhelming amount of early game damage.
The Witch Doctor had negative GPM.
Well, you still got the green.
Like, you contrast that with just tick golds, he's pretty much gaining nothing.
Dom creep, plus 100.
Vacuum pulled him back in, into the Maledict.
Man, that's some disrespect right there.
Yeah.
cepetan dong ultinya dong.
Not going to be enough. Respect still working on his boots.
It's a rough one out here. It's a rough one.
3-man smoke, but where are you going to go with this? You're actually kind of winning so hard that Huligani is all kind of sitting underneath their tier 2s or grouped up.
Trying to go 14-minute Wisdom Shrine. Kill whoever's in the way with this amp damage storm.
Cut through the triangle, catch the Earthshaker, kill him.
No one is surviving the damage out from Yopaj right now.
And with that threat, Huligani really can't do anything about the Wisdom.
It looks really tough to fight this. Even with a tombstone available, you just have to let it go.
Helmadom is finally done for the Centaur, so he can do something to slow down these pushes, grab the creep waves and such, but the Sven cannot afford to die, but die he will, as Yopaj whoa, he didn't even choose to zip after him. I thought he was going to go for it.
Iya, kalah larinya,
No vacuum goes off. No follow-up jump on that Stampede usage. Okay.
Uh-oh. Raven,
Easy
he's going to die
kill.
to the triple raise. Ooh, OG are slipping up now. What could have been a kill on the Sven results in the death of Raven. Almost got the Helmadom creep.
It does not feel like this game should still be this close. OG have had so much freedom to operate and try and punish
Centanya bawa keluarga ya.
an AFK farm strategy. They did punish the Centaur.
Bawa
That
Centa
part was
mini.
very successful. Natsumi, he's done his job in this game. But it feels like that Storm should be farther ahead right now. He's gotten every power rune. He has a Coddle behind him, and you're sitting on, 4 Galvanized stacks.
Yeah, I feel like 37% win probability is a glowing review. Honestly, considering how bad this game looked in the first 7 minutes.
If you have the blink on the Sven now. If you get the blink on the SF as well, the team fights become a lot easier because now you can just fissure the Storm when he jumps in and just blink Requiem, and it's a real threat on Yopaj. You can't just play completely recklessly. The same can technically happen to Natsumi, though I think it's
Levelnya
more
pegang
unlikely.
sama Sven ya.
It's caught off like that.
Tadi
This is
Svennya solo
exactly
gitu.
what you were talking about in the draft, right? You would be more comfortable playing
Jadi
this
levelnya lebih
lineup
cepet
because
dia ya.
really Huligani only need to win one fight, and the game is back in their favor.
They're gonna feel a lot more comfortable.
Romnya
for
di
sure.
sini yang ketinggalan level guys dari SF ya,
Right,
beda
only being
level doang.
down 3K right now. You get one team fight where you kill a core or two. Trying to get to the shard on respect. If you can get to that and have a save mechanism for the SF, that'll go a really long ways.
That's nice. They have saves in the lineup as we scale longer here. I think OG are probably just going to look for early BKBs. There's no BKB control in this Huligani lineup. That is a downside.
Right.
You jump in with BKB Storm, BKB Kez, and you just start pounding on this SF. What is the response? Your only real response is you tombstone him, you give him some Sven armor, or Sven is killing them in return. Those are possibilities, but it's still a lot of freedom for the OG cores. So BKB timings are going to be really nice here for OGs 1 and 2, and they are closing in on those.
Raven opting for a Helmadom into Shiva's build. So no Blink Dagger. Shiva's has been... I think Darkseer has probably benefited the most out of this Chasm Stone item. So in some troubles. Fisher turnaround. OG. They're playing a little bit slow. They don't want to just get baited in by the Earthshaker like they did in the mid lane, but...
Don't know where that Requiem is.
Iya,
Yeah,
takut
exactly.
di
So
echo.
as soon as they're sure that the SF
Kena echo slam tuh.
baiting them out, they
Soalnya
go
creepnya
for
lagi
the kill.
banyak.
Regen running on Yopaj anyway, so costs you nothing down here. Getting a Galvanized stack. Mid tower dying to the corrupted Dark Troll Summoner, though the Dark Troll Summoner dies to Yopaj. So some nice gold injection for him here in the last minute.
Ya nanti buat siang.
I love the Echo Saber Defiant Shell triple hit. Pop, pop, pop.
Does feel real
Mok
nice.
kayaknya mau ambil
And
midnya.
here's this play. See if it catches OG unawares. Reveal the Blink Dagger. A stack of heroes for the 18-minute power room, but it went bottom. And I think that is great for OG. Otherwise, Storm might have been caught in the top lane, but maybe they still catch the Storm. They do. A Blink Dagger
Tangkep.
stun into the Blink Requiem and even a Fisher on top of it. It was a heavy commitment to get the kill on Yopaj, but to slow down those galvanized stacks, pretty nice as long as they can get out. But this Sven is in some trouble. Cass maledicted. Now the Shiva's trying to catch up to him. They got him in the vacuum. That's gonna pull him in, and that'll do enough damage. Ooh, the tombstone save.
He's got to stay in there for a long time, though.
Yeah, he's got to wait out the entirety of the maledict, and OG feel like they can't commit. So he pops out, blinks away.
Masih selamat ya Sven-nya ya.
Now corrupted. Well, no Stampede to save himself. He used it to buy out the Sven. And so he will die to the maledict.
All right, poor Centaur.
And he loses his little dog too. That's sad.
It's going to be a rough one for Corrupted out here. Not much you can do about it in this matchup. Got given the business.
Ya,
They
BKB
do
kurang
salvage that
1400 lagi.
situation a little bit. Surprised OG aren't able to capitalize more. That's the advantage of the Storm going down first, though. You lose a lot of your guaranteed chase potential. Power of this Tombstone save as well. Undying stocks on the rise at this TI so far. That's for sure. Looks like one of the better saves out of the pool. Which is not something you normally think about this hero in terms of what is his best attribute.
Yeah.
Certainly on the rise. OG trying to just do a quick Roshan here off the back of Natsumi's insane early presence. And Huligani have no read on this, or at least no interest in contesting it. No Requiem available, no ability to team fight.
No stand, yeah, like all three cores
Langsung
don't have
ya,
ults.
Krosan, duit makin nambah.
They knew a wise read not to contest.
They do have very solid levels, is one thing they got going for them. All the solo XP on this Sven and SF, they're both level 15.
Tapi levelnya masih kalah ya,
That's
farmingnya
pretty
lebih cepat
juicy
mereka. SF sama Sven-nya lebih cepat guys farmingnya guys.
To be some big boys later on. I think you always have a shot to
Beda
win the
2
fight.
level mid lane-nya.
Yeah, they're only down 50 experience or something. Down 1K. Looks like more like 1,800. 5 to 12, 20 minutes in. OG are leading, and they've got an Aegis, but not by as big of a lead as you would have expected if you watched the first 5 minutes of the game. Still, though, they have the advantage of aggression on their side. Until the BKBs come up on Huligani, OG can kind of keep running at them.
They'll have BKB soon as well, and then you can go a lot more ham.
Ya, butuh BKB semua ya.
You just have to be careful clumping into this lineup if you're not jumping the big damage dealers. If you can start on the SF, I think you're very happy. If you can start on Sven, you're super happy, though I think that's going to be very difficult. Starting on some of these other heroes and giving turnaround potential to a Requiem, to a Sven stun, to the Shaker, that's where the team fight can become scary. That's why you need BKBs here if you're OG. You need to pop them. We saw yesterday, there were some BKBs not being used early on.
Yeah.
This is another one of those games. If you don't use the BKBs early, it can really cost you.
I mean, in this
Kalau
game,
TL
there's
bakal
no reason. If you're OG, there's
clear
no reason
mid-nya.
to not pop your BKB if you're jumping SF, right?
Yes, I want to say yes.
Like, you should just be safe.
Levelnya
pop
nggak terlalu
BKB,
jauh ya, beda
commit to
1
kill
sekarang
them.
mid lane sama
Make sure you
carry-nya.
don't get fissured or echo slammed or Sven stunned.
I agree with you. The one wrinkle in that is the Tombstone save.
Right.
Smoke.
It gets really weird if you commit BKBs, he gets Tombstone save, and they can turn it around
Open.
by him just sitting in there.
TP out.
Oh, nice smoke break. Very well played. Wasting some of this Aegis duration, already down to half.
Mirage not really respecting that smoke break. Almost got caught there.
He wants that wolf creep. Will not get that wolf creep. And Yopaj, he's running around with Arcane right now. His BKB is done, so this Storm is very strong on the map. And this is where OG want to get something done. And again, they're just kind of getting thwarted. They have a really nice timing. Double BKB on the
Ya, jangan
course. You have
Reaper
your
ini
Aegis, you have
harus
your Shiva Storms
diwartin,
here.
Jo.
It's all online. You gotta
Go
find something.
deep behind the tier 2.
Soalnya pasti pada farmnya ke situ.
The Undying, which probably not what they expected.
Yeah, just save that Tombstone.
Yeah, no reason to pop it here.
You got the Cecil Sturge anyway.
And they will be strong coming up. They have the SF BKB, so they may not want to fight OG, but if OG tries too hard to force an engagement, it is possible for Huligani to punch back.
Oh, absolutely.
Tier 2 does go down, though, so OG may not be making the most progression in shutting down the enemy cores. They are getting more map control.
They're only really missing the Earthshaker blink as the blink for the
Second
Centaur
turret,
arrives.
ya,
And then
di
you really have
bottom.
your team fight turnaround.
Ini
Shard
udah
is already
hancur.
online, though, so
Centaknya
the
balik
long
lagi,
range
bawa
chain stuns
centak
are
lagi.
another reason you have to pop early BKBs here if you're OG. you can really just get chain stunned into some nasty burst damage in this game, and that's most of Huligani's team fight. You have to be aware of that. Aegis definitely helps you fight into this, which is why OG were really looking for something. They get dodged. They'll build a little bit of a gold lead. The experience is still Huligani's. Tells you how well they've been farming these ancient stacks and splitting the map up without dying. And now they're going to smoke. Probably the first real aggressive move in this series for them.
Yeah, the only other play they really had was the smoke play where they sat and baited out the power runes mid.
Yep.
But they were not willing to cross over the river too aggressively. But here, this is full aggression. This is confidence.
Scan on the high ground. They have 4 blink daggers. They can all just jump if you want to. It's very doable.
Hard to hit it blind, though, with OG sitting how they're sitting.
And they're going to run the Aegis carrier in front. Perfect read on this move. That is not a target you want to jump. And
Masih nggak kelihatan ya, smoke-nya nggak dapat apa-apa, guys.
Very hard to land these 5-man smokes. There's just too much information.
Aegis ya pun 30 detik lagi.
Maybe you could force that play if there's no Aegis. With Aegis, it's way too risky.
Sure.
Back to farming. But just not the worst here for Huligani. I don't think they're too sad to have a static game state like this where they're not losing net worth lead.
Yeah. There are some lineups it feels really bad when a smoke fails. This is not one of them.
No, especially with the really rough start Corrupted had. He's still 0-4-0, but he is recovering in this game. The more he's allowed to just split push with the Dom, get some nice utility up.
Yeah, well, he's getting gold, but he's also given a fair amount of gold over to OG because it's so easy for them to kill that creep.
I wonder how many times it's died this game. It's probably given like 1,000.
Adu Dumi ya.
Yeah, I think it's probably at least 10 because Kez is so good at doing it, right?
It's
grappling claw, echo slash, and it just dies.
Very close to Ags as well for Natsumi. Nice little damage upgrade for him. Another just big 5-man smoke. Again, how are you gonna land these? Might get a support off this mid ward.
Yeah, the first one, the one, you know, a minute ago felt fine. This one feels like they're trying to force things a bit too much.
Way too clunky, especially with no Roche available, no Tormentor available. What is the objective that's going to bring OG to you? You're just chasing ghosts around the map right now. Nobody's getting top lane out. Bottom lane's getting shoved by Darkseer shells, so you have to show somebody here. Yeah, I didn't like these 2 smokes from Huligani. I think you had to get the map state in a better position or have some timing around an objective that was going to force OG into you. Without one of those, your best opportunity is to get a support.
Iya, kalau TL bakal keculik.
I think part of it was the fact that they had this deep mid ward that they were so certain they were going to get a pick off in this mid lane.
Buset, wardnya dua-duaan.
They do get it on a coddle, but obviously they want much more for that kind of time investment.
Yeah, it's a net worth loss on the play.
They get a shield rune. So maybe that shield rune will make up for things.
I think that's a smoke you wait.
Spendnya juga udah BKB.
Your ward will still be up. Then there'll be a potential of Roche. And you'll have a better read of where OG are going to play. I think the timing on that was just a little off. And there's another little wolf kill to add to the Dom gold
Sanginya udah jadi.
5 blink daggers available. For Huligani, they are certainly going to have some mobility.
Coba bakal ngambil bottom lane.
Yes, they are. That is
menit 27 ya, baru ngambil first tower di bottom lane.
Are able to start the fights on Huligani's side. Chain stun the heroes. Don't let them get off the BKB. Nice aggressive board there from Respect. But the aggression is coming their way. OG smoked up, heading to mid. Oh, Skem tried to start the fight.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
That seems odd.
Di sini masih leading ya dari Sven untuk leveling.
Use a vacuum wall for a single hero.
That initiation will never yield anything. You're just going to sit behind him with the tombstone save, see what develops. Very good A on this game for OG, and they're queuing some up. Again, you have 5 blinks, a bunch of stun initiators. Just by A and disc on a lot of people makes the team fight a lot more difficult. What is going on? Is someone gonna do something or what?
Oh, still though, the mobility of OG means Corrupted may still be in trouble. Vacuum back in during
masih bisa ditarik stun.
Yeah. It's a nice Lotus to slow things down a second or two, but still will die. Meanwhile, still got Natsumi playing the other side of the map because he's got a BKB.
Ada Sven-nya ya.
Gets a kill
Langsung
near
TP
Shaker.
out.
Gets away. Not too far away. He just TP back to the tier 2 when they have vision of him right now. They know he uses BKB and the Sven's going to go for it. Point blank Requiem got the kill.
Langsung ya.
Observer wards.
Scam sees the opportunity for a big stun, but the BKB goes off from the Sven. Maledix is probably going to be the end of respect. The BKB leads to the Sven TPing away.
The Nightfall.
TP out. Nggak ada yang bisa stun.
Might see a lot of that.
Nggak ada yang bisa cancel TP outnya guys.
Control for the BKBs.
Yeah. OG.
No one can cancel.
Ward now, but it did its duty. It got a kill on the enemy carry.
And the biggest kill in this game. Just because of how much early momentum that Kez had. Every time you take him off the map, he's so high level. It feels amazing. That's a 1200 gold kill on a level 20 hero. All of a sudden, Sven's your top net worth leader. Your SF's right up there with him. This game is still very stable for Huligani. Gem on Tims now, they're going to deward some of those deep wards.
Sven-nya langsung Daedalus, udah jadi.
And Roche.
Case-nya juga udah agak nim.
In that bottom pit. This is the big one in this game, I think.
Harusnya juga nanti nextnya bakal ke Daedalus juga dari Case-nya.
You a lot of freedom to try and blow this game open, take some tier 2s. Use your carries timings right now. This is not a Roche you want to concede in this game.
SF-nya udah Silver Edge. Silver Edge-nya udah jadi, bakal sakit banget.
Huligani being favored by almost 65%. Do you can you point to a time where you feel like OG has really done something?
Iya, tapi late game menang
15-20 minute mark.
Si
Control the lanes well enough.
Ini sih. Menang Radeon guys.
Like that storm death mid really hurt the game.
Menang Huligani anjay.
6 or 7 power runes in a row and he's still sitting on, you know, basically the default galvanized stacks.
Yeah.
That's just not good enough when you have a coddle behind you and you have all those power runes. When you are against the lineup that
untuk late game ya, karena hitternya ada dua mereka.
Only one early game stun in this
ada SF sama ada si Sven.
He should be 10-0, you know. This is what you wanted out of this OG lineup, and I think when that didn't happen, this game slows down, and all of a sudden, you don't have the firepower to just punch through all this HP. There's a lot of HP to get through. That's what Undying causes in terms of a problem in the team fight. The soul rips add up. He's not an easy target to go on. He's going to tombstone somebody. It's so much time. You're just trying to kill somebody.
Udah ada Rosan lagi. Rosan kedua udah spawn.
Yeah, it's a great A on this game. This is
kayaknya bakal fight buat ke arah Rosan nantinya.
Triple BKB, double A on disc. You can survive. Are you going to kill anybody? That's my question right now.
Yeah, if things just go to a stalemate, Huligani's fine with that. More time for their cores to keep scaling and scaling.
A lot of value for Nullifier in this game too, if you ever end up with one.
Shaker healed himself up. The Fisher, they're gonna get the jump on the SF. That's a really good
Smoke-nya sama-sama kebuka ya, tapi di sini SF ya duluan yang tumbang. Ditarik nyangkut di atas.
Beautiful.
Nice war.
Great jump from them. Caught him off guard, very patient.
Bakal langsung ke arah Rosan.
Should guarantee the objective. And you gotta ask yourself if you're Huligani and this Roche is available on the map. What are you doing dangling a hero like that, right?
Yeah. I thought they had the read of what was going on, but clearly not.
Really bad time to give up a kill, especially around that mid lane. It's gonna be another amp damage bottom, so some big objectives here to claim for OG is right back on track.
No contest.
Just as we start getting real concerned about OG, they pull a move that puts them back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, biggest kill in the game for sure. This game is all about who gets the jump.
Wah, Sven-nya sih bahaya sih ini.
To see some nullifier hexes potentially come out in a game like this, just to guarantee that first guy you go on gets blown up. There's another A on this.
Leadingnya udah mulai cukup jauh dari OG.
I wonder how soon the Sven's going to pick up on this problem.
You have to buy nullifiers here. They're going to have 4 A on this.
But is he going to recognize that, right? Like, it's easy for us to be able to see these Eon discs being queued up and being picked up.
Ultimate miss ya, nggak ada yang kena.
Have as much of that information. He hasn't seen the Darkseer Eon disc yet.
I think Huligani are aware of it. They have a nullifier queued on the Centaur. They had one queued on the SF earlier, which Just indicates that they were discussing it, right?
Okay.
Tormentornya
It doesn't
sudah
mean who's necessarily gonna end it, but
diambil.
they're very aware of the Aeons
Dapat
in this game.
di siapa itu
Making the
namanya?
Shaker's life real
Strom.
difficult. I mean, who do you even go in and echo when they're all just gonna insta pop out of the combo break?
Iya punya Aegis bisa kali masuk dulu ke dalam.
Well, the Sven is going to get Swift Blink. So, discussions may have been had, but he says that he's not going to go for Nullifier just yet.
There's one Aeon disc down. Can you get out?
Managed to slip past OG just like that.
They need the gem closer by, and
Masih selamat ya.
they'll pass it to Yopaj. So no more of those shenanigans.
And not even getting a BKB usage out of that SF. That feels kind of bad for OG, but still, they've got 3 minutes on the Aegis. They've got an activated power rune on 2 different heroes.
Kalau nggak di cancel SF-nya ulti itu tadi.
Aeon disc. The Infinity Stones have been assembled.
Right.
When OG likes an item, they really like an item here.
I mean, that is the sign of top-tier teams usually, right? Is that team decisions on items, like
sure.
recognize Fisher initiation. There goes the on disc. They managed to Lotus Orb back the
Diselamatin lagi.
Tombstone save during the Maledict. Natsumi's in pretty deep. Oh, look at that crit. That was some big damage. When he comes back in, they're going to go for the Requiem right on top of Yopaj. Took so much damage to the Sven hits, and he's dead. What? They got Natsumi out of here, but
Sven-nya yang jadi bahaya guys. Damage-nya terlalu besar.
Now Raven's going to die alongside of him. OG.
Damage-nya terlalu gede guys.
Didn't work out at all the way they drew it up.
That was super strange.
Sedangkan di sini Kesha damage-nya masih kurang.
And then just got hit by Sven, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. The combo missed on the Ken.
Harusnya udah tahu nggak ada God Strength, bisa di kill sih itu.
They're gonna try and re-engage now. Very smart idea.
Okay, OG. I mean, they may have slipped up a little bit there, but at
langsung dibalikin ya. Nggak ada God Strength sih, berani buat lawanin si Sven-nya guys.
And these are those mistakes that we're seeing. These kind of mistakes. There's a reason these teams are struggling in the group stage, right? Like you can't afford these kind of mistakes against the really top tier teams. Nice tombstone save. It's going to buy a lot of time. This is the undying problem here. And Natsumi, he's the one without the Aeon disc. You can kind of just commit on him. He used BKB the first life. He has no BKB here.
BKB usage.
It was honestly pretty bad, but he got bailed out because the stuns missed on the respawn.
Yeah.
Really weird team fight. I guess
yang bahaya itu adalah silver edge-nya dari SF-nya ini guys.
They do. Though the
duit.
gem is still in the hands of Huligani.
That's a nice grab.
Which means he's able to play really active on the map, knowing that there is no detection for OG.
So 25 for Natsumi, the first level 25 in this game. Could have been the Sven, but he died, so it's gonna go to the Bird Samurai here. And there's the Daedalus as well.
Ngantuk ya gue ya.
Big damage upgrade.
Oh yeah, he hits real hard.
That Echo Slash is going to threaten anybody's life.
Do we have any nullifiers yet? You gotta get some nullifiers here.
Oh, we took the Shotosai critical strike. Don't most people take the Echo Slash attack?
I've seen a little bit of both. The Echo Slash is definitely more popular. It's the higher potential, for sure.
Yeah. One thing is for the bug.
Sekarang udah ada Daedalus nih.
The Kez not doing the extra damage on his mark, so.
Damage-nya udah lumayan juga nih dari Kez-nya nih.
Lands some big crits here. It's gonna evaporate these heroes.
Chanter's Bauble pick up Corrupted. Gonna go on him underneath the tier 3, forces BKB.
And he's the one going the first nullifier here. So you kind of need this Centaur to stay alive.
That is really odd to me that it falls to him to be the nullifier buyer, especially since it's a great Axe game, right?
Yeah, it's always a good Axe game.
Pulling the ear shaker. Goodbye. Respect is gonna die right alongside
Dua orang
him.
keculik.
Pick up the tombstone kill.
Oh dia bakal nge-push, pancing buyback-nya dulu.
Gets galvanized stack.
I guess one of the harder things about playing against Kez is being able to read the damage output based on his position. it just happens so fast and he's so mobile. It's really hard to gauge if you are a proper distance from him or not. And then you just get one shot. It's like by the time you mess up and realize it, it's too late and you're just absolutely gone. Whereas at least with a hero like Sven, I feel like I can gauge Sven a lot better because, you know, he's a classic blink dagger stun, right?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, okay, what's the blink dagger distance? As long as I gauge that, as long as I'm thinking about where the wards are, I know how this hero's gonna behave, I know how he's looking for an initiation. This guy's just like grappling to trees and appears out of nowhere and slashes me while he's running away and I'm dead. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Sven, it's like, okay, it's really scary when he goes in, but if you can weather through that, then very likely you could just kite him out. You can't really kite Kez.
Nah, itu bubur simang bukan?
You can't really anything, Kez. You just have to kill him. Offense is the greatest defense. There's the Axe of the Darkseer, so the SF counter is fully online as well. Get some double SF illusions going in with the wall punch. Not easy for Huligani to connect the damage without these Aeon discs. Just combo breaking the team fight and creating some sort of opening for the Kez. That looks difficult right now. That's the downside of putting this nullifier on the Centaur. Corrupted has to go in, stun somebody, nullify them, and then the damage has to go in. You can't do the opposite, really?
Yeah, I
That's
just think
mega awkward.
This is way too clunky.
Yeah, it feels very hard to execute here.
Like, I'm sorry, but I like Sven, you gotta buy a nullifier. I just refuse to believe that you can't.
Lucu bacok.
Look at that little
Cebong.
Bogla go. And he's gonna go right up
Cebong
to
ngebubuk
tier 3.
tower, lihat.
Get some building damage? No. That Riverborn aura is pretty nice if you can ever actually utilize it.
Stormnya harus hack. Udah hex ya. Stormnya harus hack
Swinging
sih.
now. Yeah.
OG really trying to get Huligani to come back and defend their base without committing too much to do so. The Huligani are just saying this is farm time. Who cares?
They don't want to sacrifice Roche position right now. That's the game being played.
Right.
Masih baiting
They're
aja
really
itu buat
trying to
ngancurin
bank on
tower
some
bawah.
instant spawn. They have an amp damage on Mirage as well, so you can theoretically do it really quickly if you instantly man up for it. It's going to be a minute spawn.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a later Roach, so Huligani are going to be a bit disappointed if they think it's going to spawn now.
What does the buyback status look like? They are sitting on an outpost. They
Satanik.
have SF buy and the supports.
Oh,
Little bit of a
matmasnya
mixed
buat di
bag
early
here for them.
doang ya.
Not that the Sven buy is that great anyway.
Yeah. Is the Satanic that good? Like, it's a classic Sven item,
It's good, yeah.
but isn't... I just feel like if he's in trouble, he's probably being kited anyway.
It gives you a chance to man fight the Kez.
Okay.
That's the big deal here.
Yeah, I guess that's a necessity.
Roshi are really, they're just going to man up into this outpost, potential
He's
buyback.
gonna walk into it. He's got his ceaseless
Oke,
dirt,
udah mulai
so
diculik andainya di sini.
willingly sacrificing his life, but they got an extra
Disangkutin
kill.
lagi di atas.
Corrupted on the high ground, can't get down. BKB
TP out.
away.
Got stunned.
Oh, they got the stun
Cancel.
on him. Oh, there's nothing anything to do about it.
No, he's gone. That's a
He's
gem.
gonna go after trying to help. Help, Corrupted says. But he
Padahal
will
biarin 60
receive
detik
no
di atas
help
tuh.
whatsoever. OG, 2 kills, one of them still dead for this Roshan attempt. Got an A on this from the SF hit.
The way they're engineering these fights is really nice. There's no clump. There's no real counterplay target. They're just presenting a bunch of individual heroes separated with Aeon discs.
Berhasil lagi ya ngebait
Saying, what are you
untuk
gonna do about it?
kill dan
They're just
langsung
kinda
crossan
committing.
dari
They're
OG.
almost poking with the Kez more than committing. Not too.
Yeah.
I just don't think Huligani know what to do about it. Like, are we supposed to just full send it the second someone gets jumped? It's not super obvious. I like how OG are playing these fights. They're up 20k now. They got the gem back. They have a really strong Aegis to play with here. Another Roche banner.
Raj trying to juke it, but they have the detection, and without
Iya.
BKB usage, he will die and will not kill the Witch Doctor.
SF-nya mati, bakal langsung di-push aja midnya.
But immediately, the trap laid out, but maybe it was a counter trap.
Tapi sini Sven ya, God strength-nya. Damage-nya terlalu sakit. Karakes. Dan langsung ulti lagi sama SF. And die back.
Does cost Mirage buyback. Definitely worth it here because you could have lost the game during this Aegis period.
Tapi mancing buybacknya dari SF.
Get that big Kez kill again. Never got to pop that cheese despite slotting it in. And OG a little too anxious there to make something happen. If you just regroup after that SF kill bottom, you have a really
Bakal ke arah
solid chance to end
butterfly
this game
dari
going high ground
Kez-nya.
as a team. Instead, Huligani catches
Dia
you
juga
off
mikir
guard.
kenapa ya kok sakit banget. Tapi menurut gue butuh kuiras.
Well, we saw why OG is so timid about forcing these situations, why they were doing so much poking, because Huligani do have great punish.
Sven-nya sih udah tebel, sakit. Centanya juga tebel, SF-nya juga tebel.
Gonna do with this window of time because they committed the SF buyback to kill that Kez. They've got 40 seconds left.
Not a lot you can do with it.
Just seems like it's just farm.
Farm or Tormentor, that's about it.
More Swift Blinks on the horizon. They had the vision, but they did not expect the Blink Dagger to go the way they did. They had that deep ward. Scamless playing around the gate, but all of a sudden the two supports on Huligani right
Kebait
to that
ya.
gate to try and secure Tormentor. Found a Witch Doctor while they did so, and a shard that goes to Mirage. So OG are still going to be lacking in numbers for another minute.
Big gem recovery. There's a lot of them in this game. Adds up.
Yeah, three different gems out on the field.
We did see the Storm pick up Ags plus level 25. He also has the shard, so the Storm damage is super online now. And if you hit this big Vortex pull, there's Vortex pull and Vacuum in this game that can both combo off of each other now. Pretty nasty stuff. You also have a Refresher shard from the early Roche that never got used.
Yeah. So
you potentially have Vacuum into Vortex into Vacuum with double wall, double punch. It's just pretty disgusting.
It makes this BKB activation window so important for Huligani. They have to effectively win the fight during that 5 or 6 seconds.
Or jump the Kez. The Kez is still the one target you can jump. No A on disc, no save in this game. If you get the chain stun on Natsumi, he's just gone. And that is a very easy way to start the fight on your terms. So that is something you're always looking for here. If he steps forward, instantly pull the trigger on that.
So then it's kind of where Huligani have the advantage, right? They can both win fights through initiating and being initiated on because they have saves. OG don't really have that luxury so
4 banding 1 buybacknya di sini.
Right.
Yeah, I guess
can dangle some of these heroes in front.
They do have at least one nullifier, but that's on Corrupted.
There's the butterfly for the Kez, a really big item.
Bakal nunggu Rosan lagi kayaknya.
Evasion Pierce.
Yeah, it just feels like there's too many items that Sven has to get, right? He wants control of the Abyssal Blade. He needs MKB. Nullifier, I think, would still be good.
Tapi emang Sven-nya dulu yang harus ditumbangin.
Which, maybe that goes back to why Corrupted was the one to have to get the Nullifier, because maybe they already talked about the fact that, eventually he's going to get a Butterfly, have to get MKB. Just can't really afford to hold all these items on a single Sven.
He can get Ags eventually.
Oh yeah, that I forgot that Dispels.
Yeah, it does have a Dispel in it. We almost never see this item because it's pretty lackluster for the cost. In theory, this could be a game for? I mean, it's a little weird. You have to
if he gets Abyssal Blade and he gets the Ag Synth, he blinks Abyssal Blade, hits,
I guess,
gets the Aeon Disc to pop, then uses Storm Hammer to dispel the Aeon Disc. Kills the hero. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, easy. Why doesn't he just eat all the other heroes in the game, since he's larger?
Well, he's trying to. He's just not big enough yet. Actually, that's the SF. Consumed souls, after all.
True.
Ooh, that SF is so close to level 25, it would be a shame if a big team fight broke out.
Okay.
And you
Akan
didn't
menuju ke arah
have
top
that
lane.
level 25. These creeps need to die, but they're protected by the banner. Jump on Corrupted. Have a poke at him. The Aghanim Scepter
Oke, Aghanim ternyata
the Cuddle
dari
revealed.
KOTL.
Trying to pull in these heroes, but okay. Creeps died to get the level 25. Big upgrade for the SF. Poke it corrupted again here. Got the stun onto the Storm Sphere, but the Nullifier on him. Aeondis does get procced. Jump in for the Earthshaker, but that's just pulled in by the vacuum. Corrupted. Oh!
Di-save lagi sama Anda ini.
Right as that final hit was coming to claim his head.
There was a lot of hesitation on that play. If you stun this Storm,
Towernya hancur.
you can, in theory, full send it. You just jam the stuns. They were
Easy
really
death
hesitant to
dari
do that.
Sven.
And ended up doing it towards the end, and the Aeon popped anyway. Really awkward situation. Didn't lose anybody, I guess. And you have a window with this Aeon on cooldown now, so you can kind of look for something aggressive
Masih
here.
megang botol.
Especially with the Abyssal Blade done for the Sven, even more control.
It's got 5,000
Butuh
HP.
Hex.
It's a decent chunk to get through
Sumpah
for
butuh
Natsumi.
Hex itu.
Respect trying to get even more saves with the Wind Waker on top of the Tombstone save. And Earthshaker wants to go for the Octarine. We've seen these support with the Shard. The support Shakers are just so annoying when they get to late game. They're spamming out Fissure and Chant Totem over and over again.
Come on, come on.
25 talent's nice if you can ever get to it. It's a long way away, but you never know. This game could keep going later and later here.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly... we saw OG thought it was going to go late with the Enchanter's Bauble picked up by Kez. Natsumi was already prepped to
30
go
seconds.
60 minutes.
And look at
Rosan
this.
ketiga bakal nongol.
Svenax. It's on the menu.
Nice.
Just think about it. I like it. I think if there was ever a game for it,
Great itemization.
this has to be the game for it. Good against Darkseer too. Just dispel a lot of his stuff.
Yeah. I'm still kind of waiting for Corrupted. Like, so Corrupted's going to go Krellis, which he's been thinking about all game long, understandably so, because he's been the victim of the Kez.
Smoke
That
di
could
arah
be a
mid.
deadly illusion.
Trying to go for
Not like this.
Weh, itu bayangan. Yang di all in bayangan. Aduh, hit Kez sama Sven ya. Tapi Sataniknya live steal-nya kenceng banget.
The Kez dies. The Satanic keeps him up. They hit the stone on the Yopaj. Yopaj, Aeon Disc was up, and he's able to get the zip away. Raven keeping this Sven at bay.
Ada dua pagar di sini.
Monster right now.
Just
They
nowhere
have
to
to
go.
kite him around as best they can. Pull
Sven-nya
him in
bakal
with the
habis.
vacuum. They got him in the end. Respect puts himself in the tombstone to try and hide it out and wait out this aggression, but OG have the place surrounded. In the end, with the
Skill-nya
buybacks
KOTL juga
committed
gila
by
banget ya,
Huligani,
tapi ya.
OG will still have
Satu
the
tukar
advantage in numbers.
dua
So
ya.
4 versus 3 if they want to hit for high ground.
What a sick illusion bait. Right place, right time, right rune. Wins them a massive team fight. There's a clutch
Kebait
backup
sama
slam
illusion, Cok.
on the Kez at the exact right moment. Sven definitely hurts. You just wasted so much on that first go that the long fight with the refresher shard on Darkseer, double wall, you punch the Sven. There's just nowhere to run. You're just stuck in all the muck.
Yeah. They do have a buyback on the SF, but he's going to pop it here.
Buyback.
I was going to say without BKB, is it even worth trying? But they do want to keep this lane of barracks up.
There's a Roche online too. Maybe you just want to try and force the contest here. You feel like you don't have a better way back in this game.
Dua tower ya,
Oh, that
atas sama
sounds
bawah
kinda
udah
crazy.
hancur. Tinggal gimana
it
cara
without the
ngegainnya,
Sven.
guys.
Well, I'm saying when the Sven's up, you know OG aren't going to do it without the
Harusnya
Kez.
meganya nanti nunggu Rosan.
But the Kez is going to be up before the
Ataupun di sini bakal nge-red dari
10
si
seconds. Can't
Darkseer ya.
tier 2 and get there and kill it in 10 seconds.
Sakit juga ya ke arah centaknya juga damage-nya sakit guys itu kalau TL guys. Ini bakal langsung war untuk Rosan.
We did see how that Sven was tough for OG to deal with. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that was
Guys-nya
an
juga ke
ideal
arah
fight,
Satanic.
and they still struggled, as you can see.
Nggak mau kalah
for
untuk adu
13
lifesteal ya.
seconds to kill him.
Tapi kalau secara
He
damage masih
killed
tetap
the Kez.
gedean
I
God
think it's
Strength
like kinda
karena
crazy,
punya God
1 versus
Strength.
4. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't
Jadi
13
damage
seconds,
dan
that was
heal-nya pun
26
lifesteal-nya bakal
seconds.
lebih gede dari Sven harusnya.
He was straight out man fighting Natsumi.
Yeah.
That Abyssal Satanic did its job in that man fight. Even if he's a little kiteable. Though that's kind of Sven no matter what. So what can you really do about that?
Padahal lane bawahnya enak dimajuin dulu sih.
Long smoke wrap from OG, trying to get a cheeky angle here.
Catching on dying without Ceaseless Dirge. That might just be a freebie here. Yulceptor going for the blink, and he does manage to get it. Up to the high ground, so they keep the save alive. That is actually pretty crucial, especially when they have double Satanic. Still going after this Undying. Yopaj commits and gets the kill. With a grab onto Corrupted as well. Jump in for the Sven. Where's he going to? Oh, he got hit by the cask. Fails his initiation he was looking for on the God Strength. An instant buyback there from Respect. OG bleeding Huligani just a little bit more.
Cabut dulu dari OG.
You wait out this God Strength.
Bakal pindah ke lane bawah, bakal nge-push ke arah bottom lane.
Commit for Roche
Karena tahu God Strength-nya lagi aktif.
I'd be pretty tempted. They're going to send the Dark Seer
Buyback and smoke.
Try and push in this bottom lane a little bit. I think you absolutely forced the fight if you're OG. What are you missing? You're not missing anything.
Yeah, you've got the advantage of buybacks on your side.
You're only missing Storm, BKB, I guess.
Like Sire dulu aja sih itu padahal.
So,
masangin skill 2-nya ke creep.
Feels really hard to fight without that.
I think Huligani thought that this was going to be a game where they could just chill out for forever and eventually win with their scale, but
Centaur was too far behind, and the itemization from OG has caused a lot of issues in the late game team fighting.
Yeah, we're not seeing the Centaur that's a damage threat, right?
No, he's not having any impact.
4 Prophets Pendulum, 4 Aeon Disc. I mean, what a way to counter a Sven.
That is some survivability right there. They're just waiting for Roche to move south.
Smoke lagi.
Outpost. So
sekarang kebalik 1/4 juga untuk buybacknya.
Gotta find something. God Strength back online.
I do think this is the time where teams slip up in their formation the most, right? Where they just kind of move, they swing to the other side, go to the Roshan. If Huligani were to get real aggressive playing that triangle
Roshannya
right now,
udah jalan ke arah bottom ya.
But they're going a long wrap around. OG not going to go to their triangle. They're going to invade past the river here. Push mid in.
This smoke might have landed if they'd made it 30 seconds earlier, as there were a bunch of OG heroes kind of riding out this bottom lane to try and fix the map. End up just meeting them head on in an open jungle area.
OG sweeping around. Corrupted. Going to be on the low ground underneath the ward. Jump by Yopaj. Hit with the nullifier. There's the tombstone.
Undying-nya sih ganggu banget, Cok.
Pull in on Respect, but OG playing it slow. And honestly,
it
just looks fantastic every single time they do. It just
no reason to go into that area.
Forcing Huligani to use more spells.
Very clutch call would be to just Roche right now if you're Huligani.
Oh yeah, just force them into you.
Yeah, it's kind of an insane call. The rune bait.
Made the power rune, got the haste rune. Sven in some trouble. Commits with the BKB. They want to all in this Sven while they can. Activates the Satanic. Gets one swipe. Trying to keep himself alive. Now it's to fight Natsumi. Can he win this fight?
Hey, SF free hit.
Now the Antis procs. He pulls in Tim's. Tim's with a 4-stab up to the high ground. Raven's now making a run for it. Denied by the Fisher though. And the SF on the other side. He's going to go down. Here comes the buyback though. Antis, or Nullifier placed onto this Sven. Doesn't have the same kind of heal he had before. He's going to start retreating. OG couldn't come in. It's going to be the SF dies. Natsumi does just enough damage to kill him before the TP completes a massive kill, because that is a dieback that should ensure Roshan.
Atasnya belum hancur
to get something with the Kez returning to that fight, and you got the biggest prize of all.
Diamanin lagi sama OG
a second earlier, he gets out
dengan
of there.
buyback.
Little things make a massive difference. That's going to be Roche for OG. A very scary fight.
Yang punya buyback sekarang 1/2 ya, cuman
so
Sven.
much on the Sven, and he just stands there and delivers. This build has really paid off in this game. He's so tanky with the pendulum on top of 5,000 HP.
Yeah,
you just can't burst him. He's just sitting there life stealing. And the second you get 1 or 2 crits,
SF free hit banget,
you just gotta land 2 hits through that butterfly. That's all it takes.
I do kind of wonder if like Natsumi is rethinking his commitment on the Sven.
Don't forget guys to support and subscribe, guys.
Keep doing it, right?
That is a good question. You just try and kill everybody else, kite the Sven. It's not really working out for them. They are grinding the team fight out.
Like and subscribe.
It's just going on. That, as your first point of contact, is not feeling great right now.
The team fight formation is harder for OG pushing into the enemy base. That is offset by the fact they have this extra life on Natsumi. And you can see they're pretty skittish about hitting that high ground. They know there's no SF because he die-backed, and they still are scared of the potential of Huligani taking the 4 versus 5 to them, 4 versus 6.
Can't lose the game here. You have no buy on Kez, you have no buy on Darkseer.
Right.
If you get wiped, you're probably getting thrown down the middle.
Now, Huligani can definitely slow them down enough that I think they won't have to give up Megas before the SF is back up.
That's going to be really close. They still have glyphs.
Udah
So
mau
you
masuk
can protect Megas with
1
glyph.
jam ya.
If it really comes to it. There's enough casual stun here, though.
It'll be 2 lanes, and the SF is back up.
All right, still have Aegis for 3 minutes.
You also have tier 5s in 1:15.
True.
So that's almost kind of awkward with your Aegis, because as soon as it's 60 minutes, you kind of want to go get those tier 5s. You're the one with the map control, but by the time you actually get the tier 5s, gets the Madstone for it. Raven thought there was an opening there, fishing for a potential vacuum. The Wind Waker is up on respect, and they jumped in after the Wind Waker is on cooldown here.
Iya, andainya dulu sih yang harus diambil sih.
That's a dieback on the
Annoying banget soalnya.
Dirge. It was a dieback on the
Tapi malah
Undying, but
centanya
he
yang
had the
mati, guys.
ceaseless dirge up, so they
Andainya
do
malah
have
selamat.
him for this upcoming fight. But it was so easy for OG to claim those kills.
That was probably the most casual fight of the whole game.
Yeah.
You just jump in with Storm, pull 2 heroes, they die, nothing happens. Okay. Maybe we could have been doing that every time. Just let the creeps go in, get some vision, do the work for you.
In that case, who can be the
Let's
front
go,
line?
mereka
If
nggak
it's
punya
not the
tank.
Centaur, and it's not the Undying. The 3-back grab from Yopaj inside the base. The vacuum on 4 with the wall on top.
Ultimate dari Darkseer.
Requiem
Connect
turnaround,
semua
that
ke arah
wasn't
3
too
orang.
bad, but it's just the 2 of them left, and there's nothing left in the tank at this point. OG have so many lives. They just gave up an Aegis. That's it. They'll take the Megas. And
Udah
they
Mega ya, udah
have
kurungin
a
aja,
full
nggak usah
minute
balik.
plus to go for the Ancients against 2. With God's Strength soon to be down, no Requiem to threaten them. OG deliver a finishing blow, I believe.
That's the deadliness of the vacuum plus the vortex. If one lands, the other's gonna land. And then you're just in a world of pain. Still, if you're 1 and 2 alive, what can you really do with it, though?
Let's go.
See how
combo
powerful
breaks.
this
GG
Sven
nggak sih?
really is.
Look at Scam. He's just like, what are you gonna do about me?
Yeah. They call it Witch Doctors, no chance of them winning. Now the SF goes down. He does have buyback. Fresh Scythe of Vice picked up
Masih
for the
40
Storm
detik.
Spirit.
Well,
God's Strength is back up. BKB still on cooldown, though. And Skep jumps in again. They go for Sven.
Ayan,
They have
dis.
this Frogs. They have no nullifier because that's on the Centaur. The Sven is going to die under the assault of OG heroes. They finally overwhelm the Sven. They've been
GG
struggling
call.
to do so for quite some
Game
time.
pertama
but now,
diamankan
at the end
oleh
of the game,
OG.
they got him.
Ayo,
I
masa
think
OG ke elim
missed a
nih
little
guys
bit
ya?
of the early game
Baru
window
di round
in that
berapa
one,
berarti
but
round 3 ya? Round
in the
4.
late game, they honestly started to become more and more decisive.
Pas di round
They
4
looked
udah
better
ke
and better
elim.
as that game went on. They had more confidence. They're making aggressive jumps with the Storm, which is how I think that draft should function. It shouldn't necessarily be the Kez who has to go in first. And then you have these vacuum vortex combos that are just decimating the clump here from Huligani. Yeah, you have some turnaround with Echo Slam and some tombstones and stuff. We saw some pretty clean solo jumps in this game with the burst damage.
Yep.
We never really saw Huligani win a straight up 5v5.
Dan di sini belum ada yang
It never
beres.
felt like
LGD
they
lawan
won it hard enough
X,
to get Roshan,
LGD lawan
to get
XG
objectives in this game and
masih
snowball the
0-0 belum
progression.
beres.
So,
Falcon
Which is
juga
surprising
lawan
considering they
GL
had
belum
so
beres.
much
Yeah, it is.
stuff
TR
and
lawan
so much
Yandex juga belum
initiation.
beres.
I think the biggest factor is Corrupted just got taken out of this game.
Yeah.
Like,
Tapi
he had
yang
no lane against the
bahaya
hard slate in this
adalah
game.
di
Talked
posisi
about it in the draft.
OG
This is a
dan
Witch Doctor Kez for
Huligani.
Centaur with a shaker support. Almost impossible. It is impossible.
Karena di sini mereka
He had
cuma
no-
punya
he had
1
no
nyawa
presence, right?
lagi.
He's gonna be the poor scorer. He has to play from super far
Kalau
behind.
kalah
They
mereka akan
never
langsung
won
ke
a convincing
elimination.
fight to bring him back into it.
Mereka akan langsung
OG
pulang
really
guys ya.
punched their ticket on that pressure point and just never looked back. And you're just playing 5v4. And it's not on him. It's just like
But he did also buy a lot of utility, where
Yes.
we're seeing many of these Centaurs, even if they have bad lanes, well, Helmadam, Heart, right? He went full utility on this build.
it makes you wonder what this game would have looked like if he had just gone the heart and maybe tried to recover or scale a little bit better and say, you know what, we're gonna win that one fight that I need to come back. But no one else went nullifier, and you're against 4A on this, so I don't really know.
Nah tapi di war yang ini guys,
You need too many
Begitu
items
banget
in
lihat
this
tuh.
game. That's what it feels
SF-nya
like.
nggak ada yang
I think
ngurusin.
OG itemized pretty well. Maybe a little overkill. I don't know if you need 4, but it worked out here for sure. And eventually you get to a point where the net worth leads overwhelm you. You can just go in with the storm. You're not afraid of too much. The Darkseer is going to back you up.
Oke, buyback
You have
case-nya di
refresher
sini
shards, you have hexes.
sama Darkseer-nya
It's a very close
worth it
moment,
banget.
right? Like
Bisa
Mirage,
ngedapetin
if he gets out here,
siapa tadi ya?
He had plenty
SF-nya
of
ya.
time to TP a little bit sooner, but he was late to the call. He dies here,
One
and
hit,
then
man.
that allows OG to take Roshan, where there was a possibility that
Dari
Huligani
sini
still could have contested that
ultimate-nya
Roshan if
dari
everybody
Darkseer
was up.
connect ke arah
This
4
is the
orang.
final blow. I mean, even as they get the Requiem and turn around, it just damage is done. They have no buybacks left.
Vacuum's too big with the talent, with Chasm Stone into Shiva's. Like, it's your entire screen. That last one he
14-4 dan
caught the SF, and the
15-3
SF was
core dan
running away,
mid-nya
trying not
dari
to get back.
OG.
He knew it was coming, and you
Ya,
still can't
leading
dodge
banget.
it. The spell is just way too big of an AoE. OG, they're going to take a lead in this elimination series. Huligani on the ropes. OG got some breathing room. Looked a little shaky, but they will pull it out in the clutch.
The support deaths on the side of OG, 1 for Tims, 2 for Skem.
They played very solid. Like, very few mistakes from that support duo this game. And I think Skem, he played really well. He absolutely butchered that top lane. Had that clutch rotation mid on the SF.
Yep.
That it's easy to forget about that because this game went really long.
MVP-nya
But that decided a lot of that mid lane.
dari mid
They got
lane-nya
all the power
dari
into the
Yopats
storm. They batteried up
dengan
Yopats the
Storm
whole time.
Spirit.
I didn't really have fault with the OG support gameplay. I think it was very solid in this one. And even at the end, Skem, he's just going in first. He took the cast bounce down. He's like, what are you going to do about me? You know, I have the switcheroo. Yeah, please hit me. Waste your Sven hits on a Witch Doctor. I'll gladly take the brunt. So, I like their performance.
Oke, gue break dulu. Nanti kita lanjut ke game yang kedua ya.
They're looking to be in good shape right now.
Yeah.
I still want to see
Denizer, welcome.
Yeah,
be convinced for future series, you know.
It felt like it took a little while for them to warm up. Like towards the end of the game,
sure.
I was like, "Oh, yo, Paj is feeling it, right? He's making the jumps. He's
For sure.
Great executions there." But yeah, the first 25, 30 minutes were a little bit rocky. Could be smoother. Could be smoother for both teams. And that's what Huligani is hoping because they want to be able to stay out of that 0-4 elimination. Again, this is a Series 4 elimination, and with so much on the line, we should talk to some of the players. We got Natsumi during the break.
I'm here with Natsumi from OG Natsumi.
Yeah.
How are you doing? It's nice to see you.
Yeah, feeling good.
Good stuff. Your first TI.
Yeah, first, yeah.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Do you just want it to start?
I mean, kinda nervous a bit, but yeah, kinda excited also.
Let's talk about the season that OG have had, your year in 2026 so far. How has it been? Have you enjoyed playing? Tell me about your highlights and your lowlights. Tell me about the year.
I mean, like, throughout the year, like, our run is, like, kinda going... I mean, at first, it's, like, going up because we kinda, like, places a lot in the tournament. But when the season, like, going, like, we kinda, like, maybe fell down.
Why do you think that was? What was the problem?
I think we kinda, like, learn slow. Like, we adapt slowly. Maybe because of, like, in the Southeast Asia also, like, our pubs, like, not that, like, quality compared to Europe server. So yeah, I think that's the main reason, I think.
Raven joined the team in June. What has he brought to the team? Because he's got a lot of experience. Is that why you brought him in? What was the thinking there?
I think the main reason was, like, it's kinda hard to, like, play with Toronto Tokyo. I mean, no hard feeling, but it's like it's hard to adjust to some, like, Europe playstyle. Like, we are all, like, 4 of us, like, C player, then, like, we can adjust to Europe playstyle, like, which kinda hard. So bringing Raven kinda, like, making the team, like, good again, like the atmosphere and the, like, gameplay stuff.
Let's talk about the meta at this TI. What do you think of the meta of Dota coming into the international? How are you feeling about it?
For me, our scrims, like, not really bad right now. So I say, like, the heroes are fit on our playstyle.
Like, which heroes do you look at and think, oh great, I'm so glad that this hero is in the meta, like Spirit, lone druid and stuff like that. Do you like that?
Maybe the IO. I mean, like, all teams, like, I think on scrims playing this hero, like, especially the Boom Boys, like, they're so good at this hero. So yeah, I think IO is, like, really back in TI.
IO is kind of an OG. This is the old OG. It's kind of an iconic hero for them. Are you guys going to try and copy that style, do you think?
Maybe, we'll see.
Fair enough. There's lots of pressure on carry players in big tournaments. Everybody's watching the carry player. Do you think that your team are going to look to you for particular inspiration, or are you looking to your team to get you to where you need to be? Like, which way does that work? Are you leading them, or are they carrying you?
Like in the mid game to late game, like I'm the one like who talk a lot, like in game stuff, like where to go, where to fight, something like that. But early game, like they control the early game. But mid to late game, like
they'll do what you need.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying that it's a very even field this year, that the teams are all very good, that there's no easy games. Do you agree with that? Do you think there are some teams that are a little bit better?
Yeah, I kind of agree to that. Like, I think for me, maybe Team Vision and Yandex are like only ahead, like to all other teams. Like I think they kinda good.
And I've been asking everybody this. It's kind of a cheesy question, but what would it mean to you to win TI?
And for me, like it was my dream since I started playing competitively in Dota. So yeah, it's for me, it's really big to win TI.
Natsumi, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
I am here with Mirage from Huligani. Mirage, this is your first TI. How does it feel to be here? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What are you looking forward to the most? Tell me about it.
Вообще чувствую себя просто великолепно. Я вот смотрел True Side до этого, и я очень рад быть частью вот этой вот истории.
Fantastic. So you guys had to go through open qualifiers. You had to play against a lot of other mids in that run to get to TI. Some very experienced ones like Topson. I know you had to play against him. He's now at the tournament anyway. What did you learn playing against those more experienced mid players?
Вообще, open-квалы для нас были довольно не прям тяжелые, потому что мы сидели на буткемпе и готовились к ним. Мы до этого прошли на Риад, и open-квалы я был уверен, что мы пройдем. А вот close-квалы уже были потяжелее. Там надо было уже реально врубиться.
Let's talk about the meta. As a mid, how would you describe the current meta? What the best, most picked heroes are going to be, in your opinion, at TI from a mid player's perspective?
Мета сейчас вообще, довольно много героев разных. Есть и тот же вот нестандартный Wisp мид, который вот появляется. А из классических, инвокер очень сильный. Там тот же Пак, Эмбер, Шторм, все как обычно. А из нестандартных это, Wisp мид чаще наблюдается.
What would it mean to you personally to win the international at your first attempt? What would that feel like? How would you even describe that?
Я вообще верю в это. Что бы там ни говорили, типа вот у меня есть вера в самого себя, и это было бы просто, супер хорошо для меня, вот, который всю жизнь и шел к этому, и с первого раза выиграть International, это для меня был бы вообще вау.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Talk to me about your teammates. I asked Sayush the same question. Describe your teammates. What is the play style of Huligani? What are the players like? Describe them to me.
Вообще у меня в команде, замечательные ребята, которые вот тоже впервые, некоторые из них впервые пробились на TI. Вот это для нас новый experience, это для нас уже уровень выше, что было до этого. Насчет игроков, насчет плейстайла у нас, мы больше любим надежность, мы больше любим верочный плей. Вот, мы стремимся к самым верочным плеям. Вот.
Okay, that makes sense. So looking at the other teams at TI, which teams do you think are the strongest? Which teams are you most looking forward to facing? Describe the field to me. What do you think of the other teams here?
Самые сильные, я думаю, пару команд есть, которые выделяются. Это Яндекс, и Liquid, которые выиграли недавно турнир. А ждать кого-то, не знаю, все равно, с кем играть. Просто надо играть, и все.
Okay, fair enough. Mirage, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck with the tournament.
back to the International here on the B stream. We are covering the first elimination match. Both of these teams coming into this series were 0-3. OG and Huligani. OG, of course, the representative for Southeast Asia. Huligani, one of the 4 teams to represent Europe. I was going to call them the 4th team, but that feels a little insulting. But they're currently down a game against OG. They are 1 game away from elimination from TI, which for all of these players is their first TI.
It's a rough way to go out your first time. You know, at least they won some games. If they do go out, that's something. You don't want to get skunked. That's the worst case scenario. You don't want to be sitting at the airport thinking, man, we didn't even win a single game.
Yeah, otherwise that legacy kind of follows you for the rest of your career. Like, oh, I forgot their name, but Winner's team from 2012?
Wow, you really just threw Winner under the bus there.
I mean, it was a meme for a really long time.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to end up in that category. So at least I'll have something to write home about no matter what. And hopefully can stave off elimination, produce a game 3. That would be quite hype here. OG, they do not want that to happen. They would like to close this out in a nice little clean 2-0. Continue their journey. As once more, the Shadow Fiend gets left in the pool. Did lose game 1. But we could see it return here in the second draft as the Darkseer got first phase banned. So that does open it up by a decent margin here.
MUFC from 2013. That's what it was.
A classic C organization. Marana. Skem is 0-2 with it. It's not going to deter him here, though.
It's also not going to deter Huligani from picking up the Centaur again.
Nope.
What do you do to protect the Centaur? You just ban out the Kez here and now?
I think it's fine to ban the Kez. I think it is one of the worst matchups for the hero. Also, just picking a stronger support is going to help a lot. He had a Shaker, complete liability. That does not help the situation in a bad matchup. Doesn't help you in a good one, but certainly compounds the issues Corrupted faced. So they're going to ban the Kez, and they have an option to pick a stronger support, which I think we will see. Just some range stunner. You're going to feel a lot better up there. They do ban the Hoodwink. I like that ban. Still take the Undyne first. I think that's totally fine. In my opinion, this Undyne has gone up in stock versus the Marana just because the Tombstone save against the arrow is so strong. You're not as worried about him leaping in and killing Tombstone or some nonsense like that. The Maranas are playing on the edge of the fight. You don't want to end up in the middle of it, even if they get this Tombstone down. So they steal it away. Sorry. Man, that pick thing is... It actually messes with my brain sometimes.
Oh, when the hero pops up in the middle of the screen.
I do think Huligani would have taken this Undyne on this next slot if it got left in the pool. So
like just secure lanes at any cost sort of deal.
I think it is good against the Marana, and I think OG are aware of that a little bit. So you take the save out of the game, and now you're in a situation where it's like, okay, if this arrow comes through, we pick some stunts here. What are you going to take to save somebody against an arrow landing? I don't think there's a clear identity right now for that counterplay in the meta. We've seen a little Shadow Demon coming back. It's like, it's in there somewhere. It's a consideration.
Yeah.
So they're just going to pick up some more scale with this Invoker. Very scary hero right now, honestly. I've not seen a lot of people address Invoker very well. Pango's an answer. Void Spirit's an answer. You can kind of swarm him with summons.
Aren't these supports pretty good? Like, Marana has mobility and Undying has a save.
I think Undying's pretty rough against Invoker. You get kited. The spellcasting's really long range. The save can be good against anything, but I don't think Invoker is particularly amazing. He kind of ghost walks around the map. He's super mobile. He rats with Force Spirits. None of these things Undying really likes playing against.
I mean, save is good against everything, but it's better against heroes that, like, full commit a combo, right?
I don't think Invoker has to play that way, though, I think.
Okay.
I think you can play more just skirmishy guerrilla warfare. So SF gets left for another game in a row, and it gets taken in the second phase. And now you have SF Undying potentially against that Centaur. So once more, Corrupted he's sweating a little bit. It's like, come on, guys.
I don't think the Dark Willow solves that lane at all.
No.
I was a little bit skeptical about the pickup in the first place.
10 seconds remaining.
Also, they know their mid-matchup, so they take the Ember Spirit. Now they've got a nice combo, slight chains into arrow.
Exactly what you wanted here. Feeling OG's draft right now. I do like Invoker. I have a hard time betting against that hero. The hero is just ridiculous right now. But I kind of like what OG got going on. Again, it looks like really strong lane setup, very easy kill combos. A lot of ways to just output damage. No save for the early game, at least on side of Huligani. We never even really saw the cart last game. You kind of want to take the carry here because you just see so much, and you don't want to let them ban 2 more carries at the same time. Then you're opening up a counter pick for Raven, which you don't want to do. So they'll jam it. Not a bad one to take. Pretty hard to counter pick. Good matchup against the SF. Good cart hero.
Oke, udah masuk ke draft pick game kedua.
Very scary scale. There's no way you're getting outscaled in this game with Invoker Centaur Drow. If
Invoker
you
bakal
are,
ngelawan
even
Ember
when you're
Speed.
ahead in the late game, you're winning
Kok
this as
Ember
Huligani.
Speed?
They have absolutely secured that.
So your confidence in Invoker, where is it coming from? Because it's
Invoker
been
lawan Ember di
picked
mid.
up 8 times here at TI. It's 3 and 5.
Balik lagi offline-nya dengan Centaur, tapi di sini andainya dipegang sama OG. Dan KOTL-nya di ban, di respect, dan KSE pun di respect ya.
It can scale really well. If you land some early sun strikes, the hero just runs away with it. And it's not that easy to counterpick because Void Spirit's so bad. So I have a lot of faith in this hero, but you have to understand how to play around it and set the game up. It's not a hero that's going to enable you. It's a hero you have to enable, and then it will carry you over the finish line.
Yeah, not to throw our countrymen under the bus, but Gamer Legion has picked it a lot.
Okay, well, that's going to bias your stats.
They've gone 0-3 with the Invoker, so that kind of hurting the stats here at this TI.
We'll see someone first pick Invoker on the main stage probably, and it'll be first phase banned.
Okay.
And you'll feel the power.
All right, fair enough.
They're going to ban that Raven Lycan. It's the other ban they're thinking of. We saw the Enigma got banned in game 1. Could be some slight potential for that. That Dawnbreaker's still in there. These are the big Raven heroes that come to mind. Beastmaster still in the pool. They ban the Enigma. So they're going to leave the Beast, they're going to leave the Dawn. Both look, again, pretty good with OG's lineup, even if the lane looks tough. The lanes are always going to be tough. These safe lanes are just really brutal, so you can't overthink it too much.
You wouldn't want to run Core Undying against Drow, right?
Nah, I'm not looking at that.
Okay. Because that is something they've done before.
Tinggal tersisa last pick.
I don't really like it with the SF Ember.
Invoker-nya
That's my biggest
support.
issue.
Masih butuh support.
Beastmaster
Huligani.
combo with the SF.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think Beast and
Apa Invoker-nya
Dawnbreaker are the
support?
2 offlaners that look the best that Raven plays with these 2 cores.
Okay.
For their lineup. So I think you kind of just try and look past the lane. You're probably aiming to pick up one of those unless they have something really cheeky up their sleeve.
Axe has been struggling quite a bit.
Elder Titan.
Elder Titan has come back, man.
Yeah,
I don't know where the hell
TI.
he came from, but
TI, you need some big stuns, you need some big team fight. You need some scale. This hero
Wow,
gives you
Elder
that.
Titan.
Sacrifices some laning, sacrifices some early game presence, but absolutely gives you that late game
Elder
security.
Titan-nya bakal
Is-
jadi
is-
support harusnya.
I feel
am
like
I
they already
crazy?
had
But
that.
doesn't Elder Titan reduce your base armor, but isn't Drow Ranger already cutting through your base armor? Like, there's no amplifying effect.
Yeah, it's not
there,
good
right?
together. ET and Drow don't really do anything for each other. It's very good with Invoker, pretty good with Centaur. The Dark Willow ET combination we saw Vici play this, it was extremely underwhelming because it's very low damage. You do have some high damage cores, so eventually this lineup will balance itself out, but I am worried it's a little slow. This was not the hero I would have picked for this lineup because I don't think you needed
Last
more
pick dari
scale, and
OG.
I don't think you needed more amplification.
Masih
You
butuh
needed some
offlane.
early game presence, you needed some little extra damage off of some of the setup.
Some Clockwork, Treant Protector, some like
Kodok.
lane 5
Maybe even
position.
like
Kodok ngorek
Enchantress or
keluar,
something,
guys.
but no, they'll commit for the scale in the late game, and they certainly have it here on Huligani if they can get there, but there is a lot of gameplay until we get to that ultra late, and a lot of room, again, for OG to ramp things up, potentially play fast, potentially win lanes here, and snowball this game in their favor. I like what they got going on again. I think Huligani are just giving them too much freedom. You're not worried about a lot of response in this game. The only thing you're worried about in the first 15 minutes here as OG is Sunstrike kills.
Yeah,
That's
which
it.
is where the low damage duo of Elder Titan Dark Willow, they are amplified by the Invoker
That is true.
a lot, right?
Yes, Invoker can bring this lineup together. Like, he has to have a ridiculous game. You have to find some Sun Strikes. The supports can set those Sun Strikes up, and they lack the damage, so they need the Sun Strike to connect. Then we might see some early action. That's all I'm thinking about if I'm OG. If I'm Adam right now, I'm just, hey guys, call the Sunstrikes. Call the mana usage, call the Sunstrikes. Be aware that that's their whole early game presence. And if they don't land those, they don't get those kills, this will be an OG early game victory. And they should be able to snowball that into some tangible advantage here. We saw them do that a little bit in game 1, particularly through the Kez. Then the mid game kind of faltered. So hopefully if that happens again, they're able to translate that better into a mid game in terms of what they want to do. And it's a very similar game plan for Huligani. Is just slow the game down, defensive, look for some Sunstrike kills, get the Invoker online, and play for the late game. I mean, your scale is absolutely insane. You cannot get any more scale in this lineup. The scale barrel is full. It's at the brim. It's overflowing. You know, there's too much scale.
I mean, they thought they had scale in game 1 too, though.
I think they did. I just think
you're more confident about their scale in game.
Yeah, this is a lot more reliable. That was more one-dimensional, and again, scale only counts if you can get there on even enough footing. If OG have a 20 or 30K lead, you can have all the scale in the world. It doesn't matter.
Now, we did see the stats of the offlane duel of Centaur Dark Willow. 100% win rate. Picked up 5 times here at TI, and they will certainly be put to the test because this is going to be a rough lane they're playing against. SF Undying, and they're playing against a team that they have already lost game 1 against.
Pressure's definitely on. If you weren't feeling it before, you're feeling it now. A lot on the line. This is like one of those old school BO1s.
Oke, kita masuk ke game yang kedua.
From OG, bringing out those cheeky moves yet again. I like seeing this.
Well, OG are just having a celebration on the high ground. Pies being thrown, balloons being blown. And fireworks being exploded.
What?
It was all rhyming.
What?
I just couldn't find something with fireworks to rhyme with thrown and blown.
Really not going to aggressively contest anything. Again, I think this lineup from Huligani is pretty bad level 1. You have an Undying. They're just going to trade out the runes. Probably a victory here for Huligani. They're like, ooh. Didn't have to fight anything. Bless up.
Yeah, especially with Marana
Gak ada fight
first.
Di
Potential to level lead.
bounty yang pertama, guys.
At least scout some things, see if there was an opportunity for a steal or something. But all good. 2-2 split. Don't have to take any risks here.
Do you like the Largo?
Largo, kodok ngorek. Buset, di atasnya di
Let me
3
look
orang.
at it again here. Do I like the Largo pick?
I'll say there's one thing I like.
Oh enggak, ini Mirananya di bawah.
He does have some good utility against Invoker, and if that's kind of the center piece of this Huligani draft, I can kind of dig that. Even just licking people out of some of the sleeps and stuff, the dodge Sunstrikes is kind of cool. The Dispel's nice.
Yeah, but somebody wise told me that saves can work against anything.
That's true. So now they have some. Very good.
They've got Undying and Largo.
Oh. Tim's in trouble here. He's about to get briefcased.
109 damage a hit.
He is dead here, I believe. Unless he gets licked
BCF
out.
centaknya ya.
Yet another Marana that is going to give up first blood off of leveling arrow first.
Well, he kind of sacrificed some positioning against an ET Spirit coming back. We'll see what happens here. He might not die, but...
He's certainly going to be feeling the pain, that's for sure. As soon as the Centaur comes back, well, to check in on the Centaur, because that lane was really, really bad in game 1. I don't know if the Dark Willow really fixes the situation too much for Centaur here in game 2. I mean, it's certainly better than Earthshaker, but I don't know how much better.
I think Dark Willow actually has a nice matchup against Undying. I kind of like playing this.
I get that, but Sunstrike does land. That does lead to Tim's dying. So first blood for respect. I guess in my mind, it doesn't fix SF threatening Centaur all the time, you know?
No, but nothing's really going to fix that. You just have to get a good matchup on the side, be able to trade well, occupy some of the Undying's time, and Corrupted can spam aggro pull, get some CS up here. Probably do better than that first game. You always have a Sunstrike to cheekily throw up here as well. Can't forget about that. Already snagged 1 kill bottom.
You can, if you can land the Bramble into the stomp into a Sunstrike, could 100 to 0 Natsumi. It's possible.
Well, these early lanes are going better for Huligani than I expected. They're actually playing the side lanes pretty damn well here early on. That is going to create some opportunities for Mirage to show us what he can do on his signature hero, this level 30 Invoker. He's well known for it. It's another reason I think when you give this Invoker away to the teams that have the Invoker spammers, it's a very different situation, you know? You're just super confident. I'm going to carry this game. I've done it 1,000 times. I'll do it 1,000 more.
Sure, if you're going to go out of TI, comfort has got to be pretty important in these elimination situations.
First bloodnya tadi dipegang sama Huligani ya.
Equilibrium super far up top. This is... I feel like Corrupted's already got more up here than he did in the entire lane phase game 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get to hit. I got that range creep. Oh.
And he actually went for nice. Double edge, so they're ready to go for the kill.
Well, the Sunstrike backup gives you some extra confidence, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Tapi ini Dark Willow-nya sih rese banget emang.
Better than game 1, and I think just having a normal support will definitely do that.
Dark Willow-nya so annoying.
Almost being threatened there by the raises, but we'll get out in time. It does mean Lotuses are
guys
go
who
on
watching, please subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe,
any
please.
That we do have, while Huligani do have the extra
I need to 1,000 subscriber.
We'll have the extra. Sorry, Respect actually got the Lotus down here.
Arrow
Still not
buat ngambil
to when Raven will
range creepnya aja.
Like I like some of the little interactions for the Largo, but I'm not convinced it fits the overall idea too well. I think Largo tends to win games by inevitability. He slowly becomes this force that you can't deal with, but that is basically the entirety of what Huligani's
Buset, bayangannya dipindahin ke sana tuh.
Is inevitability. Like the later and later the game goes, they're just more and more favored.
Nariknya jauh banget.
Nice seek around scam.
See what happens to that.
Surprising the Drow Ranger with the tombstone drop behind the tower.
Tapi sini drawnya terpojok. Dan kena stun dari Elder Titan-nya. Ada trap dari Dark Willow. Mencoba untuk mengambil juga dari Elder Titan. Sunstrike enggak kena.
But he still falls and cannot get the kill on Respect. Tims and Raven do not
Elder Titan-nya masih selamat ya, 1 tukar 1.
This lane phase already has level 2 Spirit online. That's where you become a laning force. Salve up, run it straight back in, and give him the business.
Yeah, force Tims to use some leaps.
Can't protect your Drow there. That's a little sad. Just really hard to deal with the Gate Tombstone backstab. What are you supposed to do about that? We'll free up some space top for the Centaur though. Once more Corrupted. He's in the top 3 network.
Look at him go. What a turn.
The dream. He didn't even know this was possible.
An early Helm of Iron Will. Pretty much no matter what happens from now, he's got to be farmed.
Yes.
I feel like your Helm of Iron Will is the make or break for Centaur, like his timings.
That's why last game was just so devastating. That Helm got delayed again and again and again. Power of the Kez being able to exert constant lane pressure on you, kill you out of nowhere with the Maledict. Much more stable laning phase for Huligani this time around. It's looking quite good for them, actually. They have some early Sunstrike get gold for Mirage. He's free farming. The 2 side lane cores are getting a lot. The Elder Titan even got some extra gold injection. Already has the boots online. Things are looking up here in this game too.
I forgot about Catchy Lick though. Just dispelled the spirit damage.
Quite annoying for sure.
Yopaj had to go back to base. So this is going to slow down his level 6 a bit.
He's not been having a lot of fun mid, to be honest.
Yeah, had the water runes denied away from him, so a lot of the regen he's reliant on got taken.
They're here a little early for this 6-minute rune. Oh, point blank arrow.
Trap Mirananya masih bisa kabur. Aduh, loncatnya kenapa nggak ke atas lagi ya?
Who says you die alone indeed because no support was in lane.
Sunstrike.
Oh, he got him. Mirage.
Nice. Off that ward. Beautiful.
A big pickup though, the Centaur.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, it just had to happen eventually.
This is fine though, right? You want to enable Invoker. Priority number 1 here. They're doing just that.
And shut down the Ember Spirit, who is still not level 6. He's being zoned out of the experience.
That's bad news.
For it, though. He got low enough. Oh, and he jumps over the Tornado, so keeps the Flame Guard alive. Is that going to be enough for the damage, the kill, Respect, the slight? It got him.
Very nicely played from Yopaj. Beautiful resource management. Loses a little bit of his tier 1 tower HP, but Very happy to get that kill off the instant level 6. Much better outcome than getting zone there, for sure. Arrow on the catapult. Tower defended. Wisdom Shrine secured.
Not quite secured for Centaur. Skem sat on that one. Not much the Centaur could do. So that's because all the pressure is still on this mid lane. Surprising they're still going for it with level 6 on the Ember Spirit, but
kind of interesting. They're really forcing tower pressure on this tier 1. Maybe just trying to free up space for the Centaur top, but Skem is not fighting the bait. He's just sitting up here zoning corrupted. Still having a much better game than last time, and a much better game than this Largo. Raven has been left completely alone against this Drow Ranger who's just taken it to him.
And Centaur could just default to jungle with the Helm and return, so it's not that big of a deal. Largo has to lane. And at some point in time, like you get high enough level of Frog Stomp and you have stacks, then you can go jungle, but it's pretty inefficient to do it with only level 2 or 3 Frog Stomp.
That was my concern with the Largo pick. It's just hard to play from this kind of position on this hero when you need a lot of net worth. You're not going to get it out of the lane, and then how are you going to get it in the game? It just doesn't look that easy.
Tim's going to try and sneak an arrow here. He will. Hits the Drow Ranger. They hit him with the Frog Stomp, pull him back in with the TP into the Dying. Yeah, Huligani just trying a bit too hard. Still, though, the Drow Ranger doing some serious damage. Now, Stampede comes out. Can he get away? They need one more hit. He goes to the deny in the neutrals, but it's the zombies that get the kill. Nice setup by OG.
That was a little worrying there for a second.
It was.
Well played, though. Really big kill. Super important that Raven gets something in this early game. Some breathing room, pushes him to the level 6.
Towers got taken in the meanwhile with that aggression. SF took the offlane tower. Invoker took the mid tower. So both of them have a pretty big net worth lead.
A lot of tier 1 pressure in this game. See where Mirage goes with this. He took this mid tower so quickly, even before the Meteor Hammer's out. It does give him a decent amount of freedom to...
He's refusing to let Yopaj alone. If he'd hit that tornado, might have been Sunstrike time there.
Steal his big Wildekin. It's pretty nice. It's kind of rare you're in this position as Invoker this early on.
Yeah, you can't even just go back and Meteor Hammer neutrals.
Well, missed the slight. Missed the change. Missed the arrow.
I mean, the result of being such a low level from all the pressure out from Huligani, right? Tornado, Sunstrike lands alongside the stomp. Beautifully played by Huligani. Very, very low risk attempts on life here. They could just always do this kind of long-range poke and could result in a kill. That's supposed to be what OG is able to do with the Ember Spirit Mirana combination as well.
Tapi kalau disaingin SF sama Drowsy menang draw ya.
You're going to steal some stacks here. Mirage having himself a game. He's going to be jacked in this one. That is a concern for OG. Very big concern. Again, I think Invoker brings this lineup together. He will bring the supports into the fights, into the game. This is one of the highest damage mids you can ask for with setup supports to enable the spells to land.
Nardi, Bapak.
Some really nice little combinations can come out from this trio, and they are absolutely online. A scary premonition. As the same is not true for Yopaj. Felt like his game is not flowing as well.
Kena tuh.
Certainly not.
Setengah semester.
Supports will get some damage upgrades on Huligani as soon as they get to 6.
Tapi late gamenya ya si Mirananya juga bisa buat ini, guys.
It's an empty lane.
Bisa buat jadi carry juga, jadi hitter.
Got the Dom creep.
Okay, he got a helmet Dom creep.
Tier 2 damage done, 500.
Tolong kita ini sudah absen.
What are you gonna do about it? Says Mirage. What are you gonna do about me in your mid lane, occupying all his space, all his territory?
Yeah, I guess with the Fort Spirits,
lagi nggak live malam
really
dulu.
The slight chains arrow.
Kemarin
Fort Spirits presumably are going to be in a position to block that.
He is up really
Butuh satu
far.
fragmen
He got
lagi,
this.
bro,
This is
guys.
kind
Naik
of
laptop
crazy. Raven's going to cut across. They go for the meteor on the mid lane, but
Butuh
Yopaj gets
50
pulled right into
koin,
the
butuh
invoker
50
right on
diamond
top
lagi.
with the flame guard. They try and pot the
Isi
stampede.
koin
It's
buat
not good
aksen
enough.
sini
It
juga
does
ya.
last long enough to get out of this
Sampai lulus ya.
mess that Huligani made in the mid lane.
Sampai
That was
lulus ya, sampai lulus ya.
incredibly forced.
Ingram
That
mau
is
mereka.
twice now that Huligani have gone for some insane positioning right in front of the tower and get punished by OG TPs.
I'm just thinking they get bailed out by Stampede, which in some situations I can buy that. That was not one of them.
Sampai umur 100 aksennya kayaknya. Sampai dia 50.
That saved the Dark
Sekarang
Willow.
berapa sih?
Tims doesn't have the leap charges to
Enggak loh,
keep
nggak
the
nyampe
chase on.
lebay banget lebay itu
More
mah.
recovery for this Ember.
Enggak lah.
You just don't want to lose Invoker in this game. This could have easily been a zero
Iya
death
sih,
game
nanti
for
di
Raj. You
atasnya
give
ya.
up one of those, now you're like, all right, I got to slow down, farm up my boots, travel, just get back into the flow of things.
Ayah minimal 30 bisa lah.
Yeah.
Gotta keep in mind, this SF is the ultimate free farmer in this
Sampai
game.
garis
We
tiga.
haven't mentioned Natsumi yet, but he had that early kill. He's at 140 CS. He
Garis
took the
tiga,
tower.
30 kan?
He is
Apa 20 udah 3 ya?
mega fat on this shadow.
20 udah 3 ya? Ya nyampe 4 lah.
Look at him go.
Yeah, he is. We heard from him
Maaf,
earlier. His
Jauh
first
banget
TI.
anjay.
Yeah, it's
That blew me away. I was like, "What?" Natsumi's been around a while, and he's always been regarded as a pretty great carry. Insane that he's never been to a TI before.
well, it depends. if you
iPad lu
talk
ada
to
kerjaan.
OG
Aman,
fans
aman,
or
aman.
not on a good or bad day,
Gua
you
ini
know.
lagi live dia teh.
I agree. It does surprise me. He
Biasa
seems
nobar
like
Dota.
a veteran in some ways.
Minggu
Doesn't
ini
strike me as a
bakal nobar
TI
Dota
rookie,
terus.
but
Sampai tanggal
everybody's got to
23.
go through the gauntlet. I think the first one's
Welcome
always
kan
the
guys.
hardest,
Yang menonton Dota ke YT gua guys.
unless you're
YT-nya
Thompson.
sama namanya.
Whatever.
He not just attended his first TI, he won his first TI. and
Menang
then
SF tapi lane
decided
ini.
to run it back. It's a hell of an achievement.
Maybe
Dari
that was
Alpha
his
Manet
hardest TI.
menang
Think about it.
SF-nya ya?
Well, no. I mean, he hasn't won all the TIs he's been to. I, in
Yes,
fact, would
tap-tap
say
layar
that
sama
maybe this
absen-absen dong,
TI
guys.
is his hardest TI. Considering LGD's placement.
Mirage.
Slight chains, here comes the arrow, blocked by the Force Spirit, though.
ketutupan
Well
sama
played. That'll shut down this play.
naga merahnya dari Invoker.
Tornado trying to punish. It's two. It's TP
Connect karena
coming
2
in,
orang.
but Spirit's gonna be too late. to
Tornadonya dari
chain off
Invoker
the
tapi nggak ada follow up
tornado.
damage.
Wisdom Shrine does get
Coba buat
grabbed by
musir aja.
Corrupted, so the attention from OG diverted away from the 14-minute objective.
Trying to use some of the strength of the Shadow Fiend, like bring him into play, activate some of the other heroes. Just kind of hard right now. You don't have somebody who can go in confidently. If you send the Ember in aggressively to set some of the spells up, he's just going to get tornadoed.
Corrupted really likes this Lotus Orb build.
This is a very aggressive rundown.
Got the arrow on the Dark Willow, has to turn around, just bramble, do some
Dark
damage
Willow
where he
sakit banget
can.
damage-nya,
Gets a lot on
tapi
scam,
bisa
but
di-take
ultimately
down.
does die without claiming a
Dan
kill.
bakal diambil.
A swarm into this tier 1 tower.
That was really fast.
Like you said, bringing Natsumi to these plays.
Oh, yeah.
And to utilize the strength
Guys,
of
jangan lupa
a level
di-follow, guys.
12 Shadow Fiend.
He's a big
Bakal langsung di
boy.
BD
Man's
powernya.
already done. Multiple dispels online.
Ini si kodok
And
juga
Arcade
annoying.
Defend their own safe lane tower.
No reason to
Corrupted
give it
will
up.
scout it out with his neutral, which will die. 100 gold for Natsumi.
Masih bakal di-defend.
Not bad moves from OG. Getting some work done, bringing this Ember back into the game. The farm rate's still pretty nice here for Huligani. I mean, they just have 3 farming cores taking up the whole map. Pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, Ember needs so many kills in order to keep up with what Huligani are
Ini
farming.
XG
But he's strong
lawan
right now. He has
LGD ya,
Vessel,
unggul
he has 2
1-0.
charges. He's going to heal, come back.
XG.
Yopaj, pretty strong on the map.
Extreme.
If you can connect supports with him, definitely get some nice team fights
Falcon
going.
sama GL masih menang Falcon 1-0. Dan si
Light
TR
Shadow,
juga
another
1-0
nice
melawan
initiation
Yandex.
tool in this game. See what they can find here on this 60-minute power rune.
Do have a sentry mid here. Maybe Respect dies for it, but the bigger bounty in Mirage might still be got.
Tornado buat ngamanin Elder Titan-nya aja, tapi di sini bakal tumbang dari seorang Invoker ya.
Respect on the run. Tries to
Masih
dip
bakal
into the
dikejar.
corner here, goes for a stomp, but the slide finished him off.
Really nice angle of attack there.
Yeah.
They send the Ember in the front, all the attention's on him. You're trying to
Kodoknya
tornado
nyusahin
combo,
banget.
and while you're doing that, you just get swung on by this SF with a really nice angle.
Mid lane-nya juga bakal
Straight
didapetin
into the tower.
sama
Very
OG.
similar to game 1. OG really like bringing
3
Natsumi
tower
into these
dituk. 3 lawan 3 banding 2 ya.
Where you just outnumber someone
Power
right
masih
at the
unggul
start, and it looks
di
really hard to turn
OG.
it around. And it's been working for him. Still down a little bit of gold, but they've gotten 2 big kills on the Mirage Invoker.
Bakal ke arah
They
mantap
kick the Drow out of
dari
bottom, they
Draw
take
Ranger
some
ya.
tier 1s, and they're bringing the Largo and the Ember back in this game off of a
Dan
rough
bakal
laning
langsung
stage.
ke
So
Force Staff ya
definitely
dulu
using this SF strength to some good use.
buat escape.
Hammer done for the Largo. His farm rate will pick up.
Here comes the smoke move
Smoke.
from OG.
Bakal nyari
Just a
Draw
little kill
Rangernya yang
chain.
lagi farming.
Slight chains into arrow on Drow Ranger, a whole lot easier to execute that than the Invoker. But the carry of Huligani makes the read of the situation, will not be caught like the Invoker. Leaves Sayush behind, perhaps, with the congregations of the deep.
Arrow-nya
A miss decay,
udah connect
still trying
lewat
to catch
aja.
up on Raven.
Tapi sini lemparin
Elic would finish him off for a
sama
decay.
Spodok.
Really no turnaround there. That's the kind of fight where if OG overextends, then all of a sudden the positioning for the ET, the Invoker, becomes really nice.
That would be entirely up to the Invoker, right? And
Yes.
I
Udah
think
3
he
banding
made the
3
call that he
towernya.
just wants to take
Top
that
towernya
safe
udah
lane
berhasil
tower, which he
diambil
should.
sama
You're going to give up a lot here, though. That's a kill,
Huligani.
that's a chase down, that's a tier 2 to the SF.
Yeah, OG are able to
Dang.
bulldoze down towers way faster
Second tower
than your puny meteor
berhasil
hammers.
didapatkan oleh
Well,
OG.
they also have a hammer.
That's true, but
You know, they
largely it's the SFs
they
right
both have a puny meteor hammer. This SF's kind of king of the game right now. Really flowing well.
He can die very easily. Like Drow Ranger is a good matchup against SF.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
He's going to have Alacrity, too. There's going to be an easy spear flying around. Earth Splitter is quite nice against SF because SF tends to be a little static once he commits to the fight. You just chunk him with it.
How do you itemize as SF against ET Drow Ranger? Like, okay, BKB for the ET, but like, how do you actually itemize against Drow?
Oh, udah OTW ke Hurricane Spike ya dari Draw
It's
Ranger
pretty
ya.
tough in this game.
You probably can, right? It's just entirely play.
Yeah.
There's,
Masih kurang
no
sekitar
item that actually
1400-an lagi.
fixes this matchup.
It's Swift Blink and slay him, right?
Yeah.
It's like your only real late game option. Butterfly can be nice.
Kalau untuk
if
farming
you get
masih
a
lebih cepat
insane timing
dari
with it, but we
SF
haven't
ya
really
sih.
seen that kind of thing. That's like the old school. People used to do that with Terrorblade, where you just go like second item Butterfly Terrorblade, get Aegis, go high ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Because SF can push.
SF-nya
the
udah
right
duluan
game.
ya.
and
Hurricane
kinda take
Spike-nya
advantage of
udah
these slower
jadi
carries.
duluan.
That is a route you can take against Drow. This is not that tempo of game, though.
Right. Probably be more up to the
Mat
supporting
botak,
crew
welcome Mat
of
botak.
OG, the Undying
Jangan
and the
lupa di
Largo who have
follow-follow.
the saves to pull the
Buat
SF
support.
out of these multi-shot hits.
I think you just kind of tank
Don't
up
forget
here
to subscribe guys.
and buy time for your saves to come in, get multiple rounds of spells off. You're going to have to be on the front lines this game if you're Natsumi. And you need some Aegises as Huligani ready to get aggressive themselves. Have
Sahaya
Blink
Mat
on
botak.
Corrupted. He gets to play Dota.
Oh,
He's about
OP.
to do just that. What a
Anjir,
target.
OP.
If he can catch
Kemarin
Natsumi,
Feby
he
itu jadi
does.
frozen kumaha aja.
Lands the meteor on top of the stump. Beautifully
Ya
done
begitulah.
by
Is that
Huligani, and Corrupted has got to be feeling the best he's felt the entire series. He
Oh, yeah.
manages to kill Natsumi.
Begitulah.
Just kind of a weird map state
Kumaha
for
kabar,
OG.
euy?
They're pushing in both side lanes and showing the SF on the mid. Well, everybody's off the map.
Encan atuh.
It's a rough death.
Nggak
Take him a
buka
lot of
ininya,
that
nggak buka
for Huligani.
profilnya.
Might give him Roshan. If I'm them, I absolutely just go in this Rosh.
Udah diintip
Alacrity
lah
to Drow, it
profil.
dies really fast. Very tough fight for OG to take without the Shadow Fiend. You have to go into Brambles, Ice Paths,
Siapa yang tahu mat botak ya?
Give it a try all the same.
Gimana kabar, euy?
Kind of an insane attempt if you actually
Masih
commit
di
for the
Bandung?
test. You need like an Aegis steal here or something.
Moonlight Shadow, I mean, they have a good position on Tombstone. They especially they kill the
Info
Invoker
keren
right
bakal
away.
di-tag.
Pull him into the arrow.
Lagi nonton
Oh,
Dota
oh,
orang
my.
di
Inside the
YT.
pit, and Roshan
Lagi live
followed
di
up
YT
that
juga.
Huligani. They have to make a decision here and now. Do they finish up Roshan? Grab the
Yo,
Aegis.
pause.
They're gonna try, but the Eversphere jumps in. They
Didn't get it.
the Aegis on
Wah,
the Drow
tapi
Ranger,
Aegisnya
but what
berhasil
does
dapetin
it
sama
matter?
Draw
You've
Ranger.
lost the
Tapi
fight.
bakal langsung di take down.
Dude, the positioning there was
Apal,
so
apal.
good from OG. It's so
Apal
questionable.
atuh apal.
Huligani.
Oh my god, he actually managed to manta out of the
Kudu
pit.
ngintip
Not that
heula.
it saves him, but that was kind of cool.
Kan yang
That
nongol
should've
namanya
been a
mat
way more
botak ya.
difficult fight. You should
Siapa
have
yang tahu
a
mat
stomp
botak?
that comes through on OG from whatever angle they come in on.
Gimana kabar
Kind of disengages that. And it should never be Invoker as the first point of contact.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare for
BJ jadi
Huligani.
pro player
Very
ML
great
enggak.
angle from
Wongki ya
OG.
tapi
Props to them. Surprised Huligani. Took a nice fight.
pro
Starting
player
on
ML.
Invoker is the dream, but this just feels
Siapa gua?
too casual, right?
Tumben nggak game lagi
Just walk
nobar
in.
di
The
YT.
stomp lands on 2.
Lagi
It's not
nobar
bad, but
Dota.
the Invoker dying first means you can't really take advantage
Lagi
of it too
ngaktifin
well.
YT dulu.
And you're lucky that you didn't have this Aegis snatched at the same time, or the Roche kill. Tombstone definitely does some work in this fight. That's for sure.
Oh main RP.
Yeah,
Ay
great
sekarang
fight
di
for him.
mana?
I thought that was going to be a lot more difficult.
Di Bandung kene? Apa di Malai?
Maybe it should have been a little more difficult, but
Yeah, Huligani
Kami
just
bilang
getting
lagi
lax
glory
in their
gas lah.
positioning and their
a little bit.
attention
Gas
to
lah, glory dulu.
detail in
Lagi
the setup
capek
for
juga
that
main
Roshan, and OG punished them beautifully. And that
Lagi ada misi
will
mabar
pull
weh, tapi
down
harus
the win
masuk tim.
probability that was
Tim apa?
heavily favoring Huligani.
Oh iya ini Sabtu ya. Kita kemarin
Still
lupa
is.
Rising. Kemarin
Like
tadi
some
mau
of that
Rising
late game
cuman
scale with this
capek,
Drow and
bulu
Boker.
tumbang.
Can't blame it. Still very scary proposition to fight
Enggak,
into
gua
here.
enggak
Yeah,
pro
that
player.
Roshan fight was like an 8% bump down.
They have BKB on Yopaj
Itu
now.
lagi online di
which is
Magic
huge.
Chess.
There
Lagi
is
AFK
no
Magic
BKB
Chess itu.
control in this game.
Kebuka di PC.
There's damage you can throw into him, which is scary.
Online di PC doang itu.
Later and later we go. But now he can just jump in front line, and that should set the fight up a lot more reliably.
Benar,
for the
nggak
SF.
jadi pro player.
The Morana
Orang
arrow,
jadi
drop
wasit.
a tombstone. Could see something similar like we saw around that pit. Then you're feeling pretty good about these mid-game team
Enggak pro
fights.
player enggak.
Particularly before BKB comes out on the Invoker,
Cuman
that's going to be a
main
really
doang
big
sekarang
timing
mah. Dulu mah
for Mirage to be able
zaman
to
kuliah lah.
survive and get some spells off, because there's been a couple fights.
Jadi
he's
pro
just
player
died.
pop me gitu. Sedap bukan pop me sedap.
What's the rebuttal? If he dies again, if the
Cuma
Invoker
main
dies,
aja. Biasa juga
limited.
live-nya mole, Magic Chess.
the
I mean,
damage coming out from the lineup by such a large percentage, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you said it from the moment.
Di
they got
Jakarta ya di mana,
drafted,
euy?
like the Invoker is the
Sen,
piece that
welcome back.
ties it all
Eh,
together
welcome.
for Huligani. If he dies
Jakarta di
first,
mana?
then
Apik.
all the other pieces fall apart.
Kapten aing ya, kapten.
Pressure on the tier 2. Try to go for the punish. Beautifully timed from Corrupted. They don't get
Ini
the
semua
kill, but they got
ultimate-nya ya.
the BKB to be used. Trying to hit the Sunstrike. Close call. Yopaj. He stalls up a little bit, hits a slight.
Iya, dulu
and
dulu
does
pernah.
manage to dodge the Sunstrike.
That was
Sebelum
perfect
Covid
for
lah, nyampe
Corrupted.
sebelum
That
Covid.
is
Yes.
Very
Sick
close.
timing.
Sampai sebelum Covid
If the
masih
Earth Splitter hit him,
player.
he might have died. If the Sunstrike hit him, he died. So
Oh di Jaksel.
some nice dodges at the end.
Yang
from
kemun ke
Yopaj.
Jaksel di
Cool
kabaran.
attempt. It doesn't cost you too much. And what did you really
Nggak tahu
throw
nih
after that,
MPL
right?
nggak dapat jadwal,
Almost
nggak dapat
nothing.
jadwal ke
That's the power
Jakarta.
of this lineup.
Biasa orang kalau main ke Jakbar,
Invoker starting to do Invoker things. I sit on creeps and they die.
Come through the gate. Make a Moonlight Shadow initiation. Try and stop Snayush from getting off a Shadow Realm TP, but he got a sentry down. Can he make a TP to get out, though? Not looking
Aduh.
likely. Right click after right click. High ground miss.
Wih, miss.
Another miss? Nah.
Nobody misses that much.
udah nggak boleh. Gue udah sertifikasi wasit soal. Udah sertifikasi wasit B.
OG need to keep
Udah
finding
di
some kills.
apa?
I'm
Udah
worried
di
for this game
nasional.
slows down and the Invoker gets to do Ghost Walk things, which he's already starting to ramp up with.
Yeah, he gets
tough to catch
BKB. They have no BKB Pierce on their side.
Yep.
Nothing to stop him from just He can rat the map and then BKB TP out if they ever catch him.
He got clipped on the dust. No committal though.
Masuk itu
I guess this is a
ngewasitin
crooked
MPL
genius
sama
effort that does
M7
help
tahun
your
tahun
field
kemarin,
considerably.
season kemarin.
Hmm.
And it is a Yopaj Ember.
Jadi wasit. Tugas negara itu mah.
Still one of the best in the world.
Harusnya ini ada jadwal cuman nggak
He
tahu.
missed,
Kayaknya
someone said.
nggak kebagian. XO welcome.
I'm not too sure about that, but
Cuman wasit tugas aja. Megang
I
e-sport
love the
di Jawa
corrupted.
Barat
I
orang.
love this for him. The fact that he's actually going to be able to get heart in this game after such a rough game one, with just full utility Centaur that dies so easily at the start of every fight. He can actually do Centaur things.
Jadi
that
sama player-player
everybody
yang
else in the
di
tournament has
Bandung,
managed to do
Jawa
with
Barat
this
mah
hero.
aman.
Cross map smoke for OG.
Teman-teman
respect
siapa
for
aja yang
position.
masuk e-sport
See if the OG
E-sport
actually
siapa
sniffs out
lagi ya
where he
yang
is.
masih main
These
ya?
two not.
Hard. Yeah, killed the courier. Now they know.
Kemarin orang baru
Yeah,
ketemu
they know now,
si ini, si
but
Alfred
got the TP away.
main
Yeah,
badminton lagi.
Space created. those
Alfred
types
juga
of
baru
plays feel
balik
really
dari
bad for
sono.
OG. You commit a lot of space, a lot of time. You're not
Udah
farming, and
pensiun
then
di
you know this Invoker's just
tempat
clearing
sono.
up the map. This
Yes,
Drow's
welcome.
just dealing with Ancients. The BKBs
Login
are
ko.
coming online.
Nanti
In fact,
lagi
they're
nobar
already
Dota.
online for the Drow and the Invoker.
Apal.
Things are looking
Oh,
tough.
kawinnya
in
nggak
the
tahu.
team fight.
Cuman nggak
Clock is
ngikutin.
ticking here. You
Nggak
gotta
deket
get
soalnya
some
kan.
more done right now.
They're split
Emang
up a
iya
little bit.
sama
Huligani,
pro player. Siapa?
they're making moves. A stack of heroes in the mid lane, so close
Nggak
to
apal
spotting OG, but it's OG who spot them with defensive wards.
Serlannya
laid
mah
down
tahu
by
cuman
Skin.
nggak update.
Just the right time. Meteor gonna be dropped on this mid tier 2, which is gonna fall soon.
Iya baru
Look at the
B3
backstab
jauh
play.
anjir.
Yeah,
Itu
well,
lagi
one hell of a
locking dah,
backstab,
lagi
they can
online,
actually
cuman
hit it.
lagi nobar Dota dulu.
Get the Drow Ranger first, who has a BKB.
Wait, wait, ketahuan, kurung. Saya masih ada backupnya, andainya join. Mira nanya, masih selamat.
Back behind the Centaur, who will play the front line. OG,
SF
not
di
sure
mana?
if they can keep this going or not.
I need a replay of that. What even happened on that sequence?
What,
Kena stun.
what stopped the Requiem?
I feel like he
going
just
out?
canceled
Apa
it.
kalah sama
He thought
Toko?
the
Nggak ada yang
hero
ngalahin kalau
stun
bintang
wasn't
3.
gonna last long enough?
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice stomp.
That is a beautiful stomp and a follow-up stomp for the Centaur.
Paling sama
attempted.
Ultra kalahnya.
Frog stomp keeps on stopping him. Meanwhile, Raven, he'll die for it at least. Tornado
Largonya
trying to
betul
stop the
take down.
retreat from these OG heroes. A little bit too far out there.
Oh, mau Jonathan
Force that
Liandi.
TP away from the Undying. One
Jonathan
gets out.
Liandinya
Now
mah
another
tahu.
two from OG. Yopaj and Tims, they get back to the
Oh,
tier
dia
2.
sama Jonathan
A
Liandi tuh.
reset from them. Not too much lost in what could have been a
Nggak,
very
kalau
disastrous
ada yang main
situation.
itu
That
juga,
was a very
ya,
bad
sinergi
performance
itunya
there.
bisa di-deny.
You have a
Kalau
very brief
kebuka.
window to win these fights if you're OG, and the second they get stalled out in this Invoker
Oh, dia sama Jonathan Liandi. Kurang kemarin ketemu sama Jonathan tahun kapan ya? 2 tahun lalu ketemu Jonathan Liandi. Se-event bareng.
Just canceled it. I'm not sure. It's a really weird sequence because the thing is the invis is running out, so you're thinking like we don't really have time to go on this guy. You know, I can't Requiem him out of the invis directly.
I mean, even still, you let it go no matter
Yeah,
what.
I think
Even
you
if you
just send it.
can't hit him, you just gotta go for it. The AoE damage would fear back some of the other heroes.
I also think you're not going to have many opportunities in this game like that, where you just walk on top of Drow Ranger, right?
Oh iya anjay.
You get that opportunity, you have to just full send it.
Baru nge orang.
Because what else are you looking for? That's the argument, right?
Oh.
If we're afraid to full
Iya,
send
iya,
it
iya,
by
iya, baru
walking
lihat
on
orang
top of
juga.
Drow, then what is the
Soalnya orang nggak ngikutin si Jonathan Liandinya juga kan. Nggak terlalu
walk on top
ngikutin.
of
Right
it.
into Mirage here, missed the tornado. Slight chains on a respect.
Gitu. So,
Yopaj
sempit
commits with
ya
the
ternyata
BKB.
ya.
Stampede trying to get these heroes out of here. Mirage, who got hit by an arrow, will BKB TP out and they'll leave respect behind.
He really wants this
Bisa
tier 2 bit.
TP
and
out.
They're feeding some kills for it. Eventually, they'll probably get it. It's definitely
Streaming
baiting
doang.
him in a little
Belum,
bit.
belum. 2 tahun lagi kawin. 3 tahun, 3
I think
tahun.
OG are going to need more control in this game. They absolutely need
Ceweknya aja belum
protection
ada,
somebody
gimana?
at a certain point.
Sekarang
Who
streaming
built
streaming
I don't
aja
know, I
sambil
don't know.
sambil ngurusin
really
e-sport
tough.
Jabar.
But you have to be able to basically just jump Hexus and Poker and punish him when you can.
Cuman
Chains
masih
is
galau
not
aja nih mau
good
ambil
enough as your
DJ
only
apa
stun
enggak?
in this game.
Mau DJ.
OG. Yopaj is going to
Masih
go
butuh
for
sponsor
a
nih,
Shiva's
DJ,
Aghanim
nge-DJ.
Scepter, which is fairly standard stuff. The SF's building up a Daedalus just for some raw damage. It's the only thing you can do. And Largo also needs to tank up. Catch the Undying.
easy
So you
kill.
out of sorts here. Get his ward too.
Scale's starting to kick in here.
Nges jenggotan
Heading
anjing.
into that next
Cowok.
Roche.
Udah nges 28 nanti.
Yeah, if they do
Sudah
not
mau
get
masuk
a
kepala
fast kill on
3,
the
itu
Invoker, the
kumaha.
Drow Ranger does feel like the longer drawn-out team fights are not favorable to them, which is kind of the antithesis of Ember Spirit Largo, right? They're not fast killers. They want long drawn-out fights. Just Drow Ranger and Invoker kind of do more than them.
Need really good smoke and Moonlight Shadow angles to start it out. Like, that's what's going to win you a fight.
They found a brilliant one around the Roshan pit the first time, and
they
now they
found the
might just
Drow
get
again.
another one of the Drow again. Here comes the arrow. No
Stun si
BKB!
kombonya si Najis.
What does not pop the BKB on the slight chain setup and gets heavily punished for it. And Earth
What was
Splitter laid
that?
down to try and get the Centaur out of here.
Whoa.
Largo's almost dead. Argo is
Stun.
dead.
Okay.
Tidurnya lama banget.
Nice stomp, too.
Corrupted stop. He's got the gem. He wants to
Aduh.
stay alive. The gem is going to
Masih bisa
be
digocek.
left. OG. In fact, Yopaj might
Thank
get
you,
more.
thank
Hit him with the
you.
tornado. Here comes the meteor
Nanti
drop
support-support
on him.
ya.
So, mana.
KB. Oh, he jumps away, but the burn, the hit, he's dead. Oh, dear finest Dota on either side.
That was really... I think you can't Roche here anymore?
I think you are right about that, yeah.
Okay, that's... Again, you get gifted an amazing opening as OG, and you still can't capitalize on an objective with it. And I say gift. That was absolutely a gift.
100% it was.
Yeah. I don't know what Snowy was doing, but he had Manta available, he had BKB available, and he popped neither and just tanked an arrow. The only stun in this
SMP
game.
ke arah Daedalus.
There's nothing else you talked about how
Damage-nya bakal lebih sakit.
inside the vice so badly because we don't have initiation. Well,
if he didn't want to BKB there, that's fine. He just Manta it off, right?
Tapi di sini invokernya
yeah.
udah masuk ke arah Rosan.
A lapse,
Rosan yang
And
kedua.
instead, it's going to be Huligani who get the Roshan?
which is just ridiculous.
Okay, Roshan roars, so they're not going to be able to do
Masih
sneak
di
it.
kiting aja.
With the heroes coming back in. Daedalus BKB.
You
So,
have to contest if you're OG.
Yes, 100%.
Again, the clock is not necessarily on your side. You can't just afford to give these objectives to scaling live.
Bakal dicek.
They're
ketahuan.
conceding this? That's wild. I don't know if this is going to end well for you.
Tapi nggak akan dikontes.
I mean, how many times can you just walk into drought?
It just can't keep happening.
I refuse to believe this is a consistent battle plan, you know?
Yeah. One of these times you're going to walk into the Centaur
Iya,
or the
langsung
Elder
2-0 yuk.
Titan and you're going to be like, oh no, where's the Drow? Where's the Invoker? And then all of a sudden the full combo rains down on you. Speaking of that combo, we now get the +2 Chaos Meteor, so a lot more team fight AoE from the mid laner of Huligani.
Maybe this ultra late does get really weird if the Mirana can get fat.
Yeah,
Triple
with the
arrow
Ags
Ags, and then you have Croca Genius, you know, Deca Remnant Ember.
Yeah, Ember
Don't
Spirit.
save.
Is Ember Spirit the best Croca Genius hero? I think it's
He's
up there.
Yeah,
right?
he's absolutely up there.
Masih ada loncat sekali lagi. Tapi sini SF join.
Already used
Right
the Shadow
click.
Realm,
Easy
so
kill.
Natsumi very easily right-clicks you down. Butterfly done for the Drow Ranger. So you just completed the big damage item on the
Tapi di
SF,
atas
but hard
invoker
to
yang
use
nge-push.
that damage on the Drow Ranger.
Udah mulai masuk ke base turret. Di combo atas. Ocean put. Tornadonya connect tapi nggak
I
ada
keep
damage
thinking this game
tambahan.
is going to get harder for OG, but the team fights have been just really weird. So maybe it's not as bad as I think. And Mirana with Moonlight plus some scaling definitely gives you a little cushion here.
Yeah, they
The
do
Moonlight's been
they do
annoying.
have the saves, and saves
Yes,
are
don't save
a
is big.
game changer in late game team fights. So
For
even
sure.
if you do have the better damage, it doesn't mean everything. But yes, I also thought Huligani was going to be guaranteed a better spot late game. We'll see if that actually is the case. As we're only 35 minutes in, dead even game, 12-17, 1,000 net worth lead for Huligani. 3 minutes left on the Aegis, and they do have a banner as well. That was the second Roshan, so if they ever saw an opening for it, they could hit high ground.
They're gonna smoke with this. They finish Butterfly on the Drow. If he gets handed Alacrity, there's an ET stomp in the middle. They will win the fight if they can just connect on all of this. So OG have to play the outskirts, come with some nice angles like they have,
Smoke
abuse
di sini.
Moonlight Shadow. It's been really pivotal
Sama-sama
in these
smoke.
engagements.
Go for the Wisdom Shrine. They're splitting up a little bit right as OG is about to strike into their own triangle. This could be nasty. This is the Aegis hero. Does have the BKB.
They're gonna walk into the Drow again!
Walk into the Drow Ranger.
Drow Ranger
Third
ketinggalan di
time.
belakang
Force
tapi
Staff
bisa
get
di
away from
force
the arrow.
staff.
The arrow lands
Masih
on
ada
the
force
same.
staff.
This time around, Skem
BKB
held
pop
on
up.
to it.
Di sini coba
Another
ngambil
force
dulu ke
staff,
arah
a little
si
bit more
Drow
distance.
Rangernya.
He's not going to pop that BKB. He'll accept this death if it actually
Evasion.
lands, but the Butterfly protecting him from the SF shots. BKB
Meteor,
has to be used by
tapi ada
Natsumi.
BKB,
Finally, they
damage
finish off the Drow
gak akan
Ranger.
masuk.
The BKB on the next life. Gets off the BKB before the arrow does land. Turns the damage back on the Raven. No, spots Natsumi. That's a better target.
Oh,
But a force
nice
staff onto
fight.
the high ground. Mirage,
Oh, he's
force
in
staff
trouble.
with him. And now he's
Tapi
surrounded by
Drow
two
Ranger
heroes on
free
three course.
hit.
Corral him in and finish him off. Yeah, Yule Scepter into a stomp onto Raven. With Snowy putting in the damage. They can kill these heroes. Yopaj doing what he can to clean up some smaller kills. Going after Mirage now with the BKB late into this team fight from the
Drow
Invokers,
Ranger
allowing
free
him to
hit.
survive. Corrupted with a stomp on Skem, and he's dead. Double kill from Snowy. Maybe a third on the horizon as Yopaj gets caught by
4
yet
orangnya
another
1/4 di sini.
led into a final blow from Corrupted. 8,000 net worth lead for Huligani off of a very good team fight for them.
Finally, they get to play the extended fight with the Invoker and the Drow available, the Aegis did a lot of work there. Because once again, OG found the angle. And as ridiculous it has been. And a nice little damage split across all the cores. They don't have to play the long
SF
fight.
Silver Edge nggak sih?
That's what this lineup is designed to do. You're not winning that in the second half of your OG. You just don't have enough gas in the tank. The SF runs out of HP. The Ember runs out of mana. And then what's left? Frog just gets annihilated once the BKB is gone.
Masih bakal direlain dulu, mungkin bakal dikasih mega dulu mid sama bottomnya. Gak mau langsung buyback.
The clock was definitely ticking in this one. OG, I just don't think they found enough in this early game. Losing
Heroes are well out of here before OG respawn, and they still got the 2 lanes with the Forge Spirits and the Helmet Dom creep.
Now you
Udah
really need Ember
pegang Hex juga dari Invoker. Bakal nge-disabler satu orang.
Then you got a shot.
Dan langsung berbalik ya.
Well, if you believe in the late game for Huligani, Dota Plus does as well. With a 13,000 net worth lead, it is a 98-2 game.
Look at the lineup.
The algorithm.
It's a disgusting late game lineup. Like,
yeah. And the Aghanim Scepter for the Centaur. So no matter what kind of screw-ups happen, no matter what kind of amazing positioning OG get on the Drow Ranger, the Centaur can always bail him out.
Very strong.
Tapi ya kalau kalah warding susah
OG
sih.
have to either bring Drow
Lu
or
gak punya
Invoker
vision
down
susah
early.
banget.
And if that hero that they go on gets carded, then all hell's gonna break loose. It's just like good luck, right? The fight becomes super chaotic. You just have to bank on Yopaj doing Yopaj things, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's really far away from Ags.
Because pretty much when they make that play, the first sign of a spirit,
coba liatin
of
SF-nya
a
dong.
terrorize being threatened, a tornado, like they have to pop BKB. And if you spend the entirety of that BKB chasing around the Centaur with the cart, you're not going to win that fight.
Level 25 for the Drow. Extra marksmanship. Satanic Dun. Took the Pendulum. Very tanky. Doing a lot of DPS right now, and you always have that alacrity to throw on top. You got the cart as well. Some nice ways to enable.
Udah ada Satanic juga sih, repot.
Ladzora from the ET.
I haven't seen you play Elder Titan in a minute.
Okay.
It is your hero. Have you tried Chasm Stone on this hero?
Alma.
It is nice, for sure.
Welcome.
Increased AoE on both the Stomp and the
Yeah, it's a big deal. Adding a little extra threshold on this spell does make a huge difference. This hero's all about the Stomp. He's a one-spell hero, effectively.
yeah.
So the better you make that spell, the better the entire hero becomes. There's definitely something to be said about this item improving his win probability. Pretty hard to upgrade it, though. That's kind of the sad part.
Yeah, we have not seen a whole lot of casual Chasm Stones since the nerf to the item. An extra 100 gold has seemingly stopped many heroes from doing it, but
we need a
next itemnya belum diambil jungle.
Stone build-up item, you know. That'd probably be way too broken, but maybe one day. There's the axe for the Yopaj Ember. Eventually got there. That is a huge item for OG. They have the Marana Ags as well. With Croca Genius, maybe he has enough gas in the tank to get the job done.
It's going to be tough.
Oh, yeah. It's
going to be tough.
Absurdly difficult, but it is technically doable here in the perfect team fight.
Oh, even more save for Huligani, a Wind Waker.
Rosan bakal muncul sebentar lagi.
And they are also going to play it chill and wait for Roshan to respawn. They have no intentions approaching that high ground without the extra life and the banner. Which means OG kind of got to get out on the map to contest this, Roche.
Oh, SF-nya nggak Silver Edge ya.
Do or die for them in this game, too. Another Moonlight Shadow. Try and work some magic, but the high ground break is
it's
too
good. It's going to
good.
run into the Drow Ranger, kind of, but the defense is already there with the Brambles. They don't want to stumble into this high ground. Do not have vision of this area.
Habis ini Invoker ya bakal nge-red ke arah bawah.
Yopaj does go for it. sends it with his BKB, but the Invoker's in a position to force them to all use their BKBs. Now, Raven is dead.
Easy
to
kill.
Mirage. Now Skep's
Kara
gonna be in some trouble.
Largo.
Huligani, they have struck back beautifully here. They kited out OG's initial assaults, then return fire off the Invoker
Damage-nya
and the Drow
sakit
Ranger, killing some
banget.
heroes, forcing the retreat out from OG. Natsumi has to use his Manta to get back to base.
When you're using
Tapi Elder Titan nya masih ada ulti.
you're in a pretty confident position.
Yeah,
Masih belum buang ulti di sini
Like,
dari
I'm
seorang
driving my carry into
Elder
you,
Titan
and
nya.
you're still running away. It's gonna be the Raven buyback. It's just too hard to latch on to anything in these fights. Too much disengage, too many annoying spells to walk through. Like, you just have to walk through Ice Path, Stomp, Bramble, Terrorize, a Centaur.
Kena arrow.
My goodness. They
That's a
do
nice
have
arrow.
4 staffs. He's faced the right direction, so should be fine here. But I do think Huligani lost sight of some things here. They were playing Feroce. Don't forget, you can still do that. OG bought back. They have all 5 of their heroes. There's no need to push into that high ground.
Mega's pretty tempting as well.
Masih 20 detik terakhir.
20 seconds?
Jangan lupa guys, bantu follow guys.
Still have the banner from the previous one too. So if you get this
Don't
one and you go
forget to
higher and you have
subscribe.
double banner, to just absolutely force the fight for the Mega is pretty nice. Again, if you're OG, I feel like you'd probably rather try and contest this than the high ground hold, because Drow can just siege it so reliably. You're missing that SF-25.
Dia butuh
You gotta
silver
wrap
edge
all the way
itu.
around here. Make use of this Moonlight Shadow.
Gotta find
But
Invoker or Drow.
Mirage is in a really good spot to stop this.
They do see
They
the
see him
ghost.
on the Ghost Walk, yeah. Just throw down the sentry. Mirage are gonna show. Can they get him? They're gonna jump after him. But Corrupted immediately jumps forward and catches the SF, who's also hit by the tornado. Ember Spirit going after the Drow Ranger, but put on the Iceberg. Puts damage onto Raven.
Drow
who with his
Ranger-nya
BKB
free hit.
is just gonna run away. Finally starts playing his song. With the extra movement speed, they will get out of dodge for now. And Huligani do
Nampaknya
not
bakal
have to
satu
get
sama.
chased. They're trying to lure him back into this lane ward that they have, get another setup for an initiation. But Huligani wisely returned to Roche. Force OG into you.
They got both BKBs on the cores. Technically an opening for OG right now. Not gonna get anything much better here.
It's kind of the same for OG though, right? They had
Yeah, it is.
BKB on some of their heroes.
Rosannya bakal dipegang lagi sama
Onto the Drow. Cheese, Refresher Shard, Banner.
HG ya, Huligani.
Very nice Refresher Shard for this level 25 Invoker with the Radio Blast. Feels good, man.
Feels real good.
Scale prevails in these high stress situations. It's very hard to play clean Dota when everything is on the line. I feel like we're seeing that in this game too. That's why Invoker is just so nice to have. It's like
Kalau silver edge sih damage-nya sakit banget itu SF.
And Huligani with the approach. One lane of barracks lies between them and claiming Megas. And they can do it from a distance too with the Iceberg. Make the jump on a Natsumi. Did manage to land the stomp. There's the tombstone save though. A terrorized to force back 2 heroes. Tornado lands on a couple. So a slew of spells being thrown here in the middle ground. OG not finding what they were looking for.
not a bad early defense. Do they have any 4 staffs? They have 1 on the Undying. You have the Hurricane Pike too. I feel like you have to offensively force this Drow. Find a way to connect like Lick plus a 4 staff
Buyback 2/4.
behind the tier 1 almost.
Otherwise, the siege will continue.
Got arrows.
Nice, nice angle there for that arrow. Sadly, just cannot put the damage to take away this Aegis for free.
That's the upgraded banner.
Even if you give him the opportunity here,
Jangan
finish
bakal
off
di-clear
the
aja
tier 3
minionnya.
approaching the high ground, but
Tapi
OG,
towernya berhasil dihancurin.
again, nothing satanic
Oh,
activate.
lifesteal akan
Spots
mati dari
Aisha.
draw-nya ya.
Maybe Yopaj can go for that one. Stomp gets laid down, but
nice.
Yopaj does manage to get the kill. Smoothly executed
Buyback.
by OG. But
Very
still a very
3/3
high hill
sekarang
to climb
buyback ya.
here. Another buyback being used by Huligani. They're still going to bring all 6 of them up to this high ground with the extra life on Drow Ranger.
Look at that range.
Chipped away, another arrow attempted, this time Manta dodge. 4 staff back. A gust to push these heroes away with the extra movement speed given from the gust as well. It's easy to get the
So
Drow
masih
Ranger
baiting
out
aja,
of
masih
harm's way.
kiting masih
So last
ngepok-ngepok ya dari OG-nya.
Kind of grinding through this high ground defense right now.
Gak akan bisa
At the same
commit
time,
guys,
they're
susah.
grinding through buildings. Only one left at this point till Megas.
Tersisa satu meg
Sitting here waiting
apa
to go
sebutan itu?
for the save. Gonna be needed here. Catching Lick one. Gets him inside the tombstone, but already so much damage has been done. The Invokers hits him with the tornado.
Oh, dari pop-up satanik ya di sini. Aduh, hit Draw Ranger melawan SF.
He starts backing away.
Wah, lifesteal kenceng banget.
Does not want to overcommit, but at some point in time, push comes to shove, they can retreat no more far as there is still this building that is going to go down and Mega's going to be on its way. OG are going to have to deal with that for the rest of this game. Caught inside the brambles, Mirana, he'll die. Huligani taking this and still pushing for more.
Mirananya mau nggak mau harusnya buyback sih.
Almost 2 minutes here.
Yeah, minute 45 left on that. Satanic about to come back up as well.
Still refresher shard on Invoker too for double combo if you need it.
A tier 4 now follow. Huligani
Masih ada Aegis, masih berani
no rest
untuk
whatsoever.
Draw Ranger ya.
Satanic to heal him back up to full and continue the assault. Just outside of the tier 4 is Natsumi. Nice man to dodge. Gets away for the stomp there of Corrupted. Another tornado lands. And now
No
there's
BKB.
no more buildings until the end of the game. It's just this Ancient. They can't go back any further. At some point in time, they got to push forward and try and take this fight up against the Drow Ranger, who's getting a little bit low, as is Mirage. There's that Aghanim Scepter from the Ember Spirit doing a lot of AoE damage.
Bakal tarik mundur dulu ya.
Heroes, but ultimately, not enough.
Cuman nge-buyback
Clutch arrow
dari Mirananya aja ya.
Landed a full duration arrow on the Invoker, kind of set that whole play up. We got a lot of damage on both the Invoker and the Drow there, but unable to finish anybody off. Now there's an amp damage in the river. Still have Aegis for 40 seconds. Might just send it with this rune. OG on their last leg. There's only so many arrows you can land in this game.
Yeah. There's only so many buildings you can give up, only so many arrows that can land, only
Susah
so
guys,
many
nggak akan bisa
times you
dimatiin
can
ini anjir.
get the
Draw.
initiation on the Drow Ranger first. OG have been given opportunities to win some fights, but it's getting harder and harder every
Caranya
minute that
adalah
goes
pakai
by.
Silver Edge doang guys nembusinnya.
5 seconds on that Aegis.
Looks like they'll let it tick out. Get the Drow Ranger back to full mana.
Get the slot in a fresh Daedalus, not too shabby. No glyph available right now too, by the way. Do you want to just man up and try and throw it in?
Another stomp lands on Natsumi, but look how far away this Drow Ranger is assaulting the Ancient. OG, you can't play back.
Yeah, they're just trying to all
Di
in
BD
right now.
sama
All in for the Drow Ranger at this point in time, and all in they will, but the cart goes out. Corrupted, they have to focus on the
GG.
Centaur, but the throne
Di
dies
BD,
all
Cok.
the same. They could not stop the Drow Ranger.
Lanceng nih cos welcome.
And that means we are going to a game 3 in this
Kita akan masuk ke
elimination
game
match.
yang ketiga nampaknya ya.
Very hype. As we are gonna see who prevails in the highest pressure situation you could face at TI. This is effectively a old school BO1 elimination to try and continue your journey here. Scale, you got to think about it, right?
Yeah,
it gives
you
you
do.
so much comfort in these high stress games. Huligani, they played for it, they drafted for it. The Invoker is definitely a hero we will see either banned or, I mean, maybe you steal it away. I don't know how comfortable OG are doing that, but you got to take this hero out. It just puts such a big clock on you. And it brings this whole lineup together. I don't think there's another mid hero that makes this support duo work to nearly the same capacity. And OG found some crazy openings in this game too. This could have looked even more one-sided, right? Like this Roche fight was great. They ran into the Drow a couple times. They ran into the Invoker a couple times. Their lineup just doesn't have a hard stun initiation. It's like you run into them and what happens?
And so much of that goes back down to the Largo pick. Right?
Yes, that's
Like,
why I
who's
wasn't
going to give you
convinced.
initiation? Who's going to give you hard stuns? It usually comes from the offlaner, and Largo does not give you any of that.
It just felt a little awkward. This is one of those lineups you have to snowball a lot more, and they're just not playing crisp enough to snowball it. This was a gift as well. It's just, you know, this is another one of those sequences. You get given a lot here, and you were unable to capitalize on it as OG. And you have to recognize that. You have to say, okay, these games are a little clunky. We're not getting 100% value out of our lineups, which means we need some more wiggle room. We need some cushion, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Scale can give you. Scale can give you cushion and just easier ways to start fights and capitalize on those initiations can give you some cushion. So those are like the two things I would think about in this game 3, if on both teams, honestly. how do I feel comfortable going late, and how do I feel comfortable starting fights? And if you have both of those things, you're probably going to prevail in this pressure cooker that's being set up right now.
Yeah, I think the idea of the Largos definitely give you a lot more of just snowball potential, right? This is a lineup that Ember Spirits, Largo, Undying, like they're supposed to be able to just run you over. Low cooldowns, go, 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 fight, fight, fight. And I don't feel like OG was playing that way so much.
No.
You know, and understandably so. Again, this is the elimination match. Whoever loses this next game 3 is out of TI.
Ooh.
And so it's hard to play with that kind of confidence, without lacking any fear when it is such a scary situation you're in.
This is also a really tough lineup to just run into. You're running into Brambles, you're running into Stomp Earthsplitter, you're running
Okay, gue break dulu, nanti kita lanjut ke game yang ketiga ya guys.
backline damage dealers in the Drow and Invoker, who arguably are two of the highest scaling backline damage turrets in the meta right now.
Yeah.
And there's a Stampede to disengage, even when you run through all that. So it's, there's just so much that makes it hard for this kind of Largo Emperor lineup to play their style of game. I think this duo can scale very well, but this is not the game where they can scale. Like, it's just not possible. Against certain lineups, sure. You know, there's a lot of late game in this OG lineup, but it's about what you're playing against and how you're going to be able to make that work for you. And this is not one of those lineups where you're just going to be able to run into them and have it work out. Like, it's almost impossible.
Another key difference, Corrupted. I mean, what a difference
yeah.
at a game that he had from game 1 to game 2, playing the Centaur both times around, but had a much better time in game 2. And it all starts from that lane and that lane combo, which, we saw the stats on it. 5 games, 5 wins for the Centaur Dark Willow. Make it 6.
There's something about that combo that's working, and maybe it's just if you have the Dark Willow, you don't have the support Shaker. So therefore you get to you get to play Dota. You have a forward position who's actually contributing something, and it makes a world of difference. So I think this lineup really came together. They played the side lanes really well. The first 2 minutes in the side lanes for Huligani, that's my MVP. Is like that first 2 minutes in the side lanes. All 4 of those guys just really played those early waves well, and then that gave you so much breathing room in this game. You get a couple Sunstrike kills. Now your mid lane's kind of popping off. That mid tower died super fast just to Invoker Forge Spirit right clicks.
Yeah.
It died before the hammer came out. So now all of a sudden you've got this 3-pronged attack with scale, and you're winning early game. Kind of goes back to that quote from, I think like TI 8 or something, where Seb said, we're really confident with our Magnus because if we win early game with Magnus, we just win the game.
Right.
And that's the kind of game that felt like to me.
Well, that'll be certainly on the mind for both of these teams going to game 3, which is coming up right after the break.
I'm here with Raven from OG. Raven, nice to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I've been seeing you for a long time. You've been at TI since 2016.
Yeah.
You've been to a whole bunch of them. Does this one feel any different, or does this just feel like, oh, it's TI again, I'm back?
No, I think this one is different because my team is like better, and the way we think about the game is much more better than before. So yeah, I think it's different.
So you joined the team in June.
Yeah.
So you haven't been with them very long. What has it been like getting settled in? I mean, you know some of these players anyway, so
Yeah.
I mean, you know Natsumi and Tim, so did it feel like just slipping into a team that you were already comfortable with, or was there a lot of work to do there? How did that go?
I think it's a little bit work to do because before that, I'm actually not really playing competitively. I think with Tim's, he helping me a lot in the game and even in our lane. So I think it's doing good now.
Do you think that having played as a carry, it helps you play offlane because you know what carries hate and you can annoy them even more than most offlaners would?
I think it kind of does that because I have like knowledge on how to play certain heroes and who I don't want to play against. And I know that also, so I think it helps.
You know the pain of a
Yeah.
carry player in a bad matchup, right?
Yes, I know.
So let's talk about the meta in general. It always feels like people have a meta that they think they understand, and then once the tournament starts, it completely changes after a few matches. Do you think the meta is quite settled, or do you expect it to be very changeable?
Every team is different. That's why it changes because who's the better team will become like that. So I think that happens a lot.
So you think people look at what the better
Yeah.
teams are doing
Yes,
and
of
steal
course.
their strat?
Yeah, they always do that.
So which teams do you think at this TI other teams that people are going to be watching the most closely?
I think that it's gonna be Team Vision and Liquid because they really have like a rule to follow. They have like the how they play. They already know it.
Let's talk about your teammates. Obviously, you know some of them very well. You haven't been on the roster that long. How are they? What are they like? Describe them to me.
I think four of them is just really the same. So easy to talk to and very much like a trash talker, I guess. And I think they're very hardworking, and I think they're really good also.
What would it mean to you after coming to TI for all this time? First of all, what would you see as a success at this TI? And what would it mean to you to win TI?
For me, if I see the success on me, I think at least top 4. It's good enough for me, and I hope that we can go playoffs and be much more better as a team.
So making that main stage, making top 4.
Yeah.
But let's imagine you won the whole thing. What would that feel like after doing this for 10 years?
I think it's gonna be so much. I don't know what to say, but it's gonna be a lot.
It would
Because
be a lot.
it's been I've been playing this game for so long, and you know, winning that title is always been a dream.
And what would you say has been the TI highlight so far? You might make a new one at this TI,
Yeah.
but after all the TIs that you've played, what was your highlight across all of them?
I think there's some highlights that I've been playing good, but I always remember just the TI6, the TNC. But
Yeah.
so that one is a lot.
That's a big memory for you.
Yeah.
Well, look, I hope that you can make some new memories at this TI. We look forward to seeing you guys. Raven, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
We love a game 3 in an elimination match. It makes it all the more spicy for us, the viewers. But for the players, it's a very different affair. Avery, how many TIs have you been at as a player?
2? 3? I don't know. It's a long
I was
time
about
ago.
to say, I think it's more than 2.
Yeah, 3.
3. All right, so walk us through. What is that like when you are one game away from elimination?
Well, I mean, I started in the upper bracket a couple times. So.
Yes, but I'm not saying like all the teams lose except for one at TI, right? There are a whole lot of losers that walk away from this very
That's
intense
a pessimistic way of looking at it. I think there's a lot of winners at TI.
I'm saying that most people that go through this experience the elimination game. In fact, they may experience the elimination game multiple times at a TI.
True.
Right? You experience the elimination game even if you win. And then you experience another elimination game farther down the line. So you've experienced the elimination game multiple times. What's it like?
The first one's the most difficult. If you can win that, then the next elimination games don't seem as bad because you're either operating on borrowed time if the expectations are low, or you're kind of gaining some confidence. You're like, yeah, we're going to mow down some of these teams that fall into the bloodbath, you know? So there can be some strength in that.
Because every team that you match up, or most of the teams you match up against, from there on out are teams who recently experienced a loss.
They lose, you win. So you can gain some momentum that way. Your last series counts for a lot. That first one's really tough, though. This is essentially a death BO1. I've played in that. It's really hard.
Would you say it's the hardest game you'll experience? Like career-wise, is there...
Yes.
So you've been in a minor grand finals that you won. Like how does that pressure compare? Being in a grand finals of a tournament versus being an elimination of TI.
No, grand finals I don't think grand finals are actually that much pressure. Other than the first one you play in, because you're like, oh, I made it. What do I do? You know?
Yeah, sure.
And you get your ass beat, but then you're like, okay, these aren't that high pressure because you're already succeeding. I think TI single elimination game, especially if it's your first TI, is the most brutal.
Okay.
It's just like so many stress factors. There's too many things going through your mind about, what if I lose this game? What if I have to go home? What if I don't play well? You don't have any experience to fall back on. You haven't been there before. You haven't been eliminated before. You don't know what being eliminated from TI is like.
You don't know that life goes on afterwards. You haven't experienced that.
I mean, it doesn't, but you don't know that. So, like, you don't have to fall back on. So it's a really tough situation for the rookies here, and I wish them the best because this is not a fun spot to be in. And, it's easy for us to look at it as observers, as people at home, and be like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? It's like, brother, if I threw you into a pool with sharks, you might not swim so well. So you got to cut them some slack. And again, that's why I talked about the best thing you can do in this position is not overthink the meta, not overthink complicated laning situations or nuanced team fighting mechanics. Give yourself some wiggle room. Give yourself some cushion. Make the game easier to play from the draft. That's the best thing you can do in the draft in this single game that you have left to potentially play, is make the game easy to play. Stuns, initiators, tanky heroes, scale. Those are like the 4 points that I would be looking at the most. I'm not thinking about the laning too much. I'm not thinking about these little combos. I'm not thinking about my timings or even like what a win condition. Just give me some raw HP, get me some team fight, get me some stuns, get me some scale. And the game's going to be a lot easier to play.
Well, OG just got themselves some scale. They are going to run back the Game 1 matchup, Centaur versus Kez.
This is the Witch Doctor Kez lane that annihilated that Centaur the first time around, but they'll take the Willow this time that performed a lot better than that Shaker in Game 1. So we're going to find out just how much of that Game 1 issue was the Shaker versus having a more traditional support. This combo is undefeated, which says something. The Kez has also looked incredibly good this tournament. This is a much more even draft than I'd say the first two. There's a lot of scale on both sides. There's a lot of explosive potential with this Witch Doctor that we saw in the Game 1. The Drow does, again, pose a problem for OG, but they banned Invoker. I think that was the more important ban. The Drow's a little easier to address, and they do get that off-lane counter pick they were looking for. A Summons hero, a hero that can create some scaling presence as well with Black Hole, right? Yeah, there's a Tombstone save, there's a cart, but those are not always reliable. It just feels nice to have the Black Hole. And a hero that Raven is very comfortable on. So again, comfort, counting for a lot here. We're getting some team fight, we're getting some scale, we're getting some comfortability.
It does mean that OG with that pickup will leave 2 more bans for Huligani going into their last pick in the mid-on-mid matchup. So we're going to see OG pick their mid, and Huligani will get the chance to counter-pick it with a lot of mids banned away right here.
There's going to be 4 mid bans, and there's also a lot of time on the clock for both teams. They both have about a minute and a half, even longer for Huligani in the reserve. So you could potentially use a lot of time here to really think through this exchange and figure out what's the best for you.
Yeah, it could mean that we're going to see some more off-meta mid-heroes, simply because much of the most powerful ones are going to be already banned away. Of the spirits that are left, there is only Void Spirit. Puck has been banned away. No Invoker, Lena.
Yeah, it's getting a little down to the finish line here in terms of what's left.
Yeah, down to the
primal ban. I mean, that's how you know you're running out of heroes. Like, this hero hasn't been played once, right? So
yeah, what the hell?
I don't want to see Yopaj Kunkka. That's all. I don't know what I want him to see him on, but I don't want to see the Kunkka here. Just please no.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they always somehow he ends up on this Kunkka. And when the clock strikes midnight, he ends up playing this hero, and I just don't think it's going to push you over the finish line here. All right, Pango. Fine with that. You can't go wrong with this hero. He always does Pango things. There's nothing to control the Rolling Thunder here. That looks...
I mean, there's a number of mid matchups that you can counterpick this pretty well, right? We've seen some Slardar draw Ranger.
10 seconds remaining.
Slardar, there's the mid Earthshaker.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't think you want another turret hero. That's kind of the upside here for OG. Like, I don't think you want to pick Viper or Sniper or something. Yeah, Shaker. That would have been my go-to. Gives you some offensive scalings. A team fight, pretty nice matchup. Something that can go in and initiate reliably, right?
Right.
So I think it does give you a lot of those checkboxes that I was looking for. Is it the perfect pick? You know, but there's often not a perfect pick. You got to just make the game comfortable, and I think Shaker can do that. It's a classic TI hero. We'll see if it can pull out the works here from Raj.
Once again, it's going to be Huligani with a fair amount of initiation, big team fight, and a heavy scaling carry. OG are not lacking so much in those departments.
No.
But I do feel like their synergy and spacing is a little bit weirder, if you know what I mean.
Pango Enigma always gets a little weird. This is one of those games where you kind of have to set the fight up for Raven. I kind of like what they have. In a weird way, like I think Kez and Pango are both very strong in the meta, and I think they can be very strong in this game. There's not a lot to stop them doing what they want to do here. So I kind of like that. The Enigma's the wild card. He's either going to annihilate this lane and snowball and look amazing, or it's going to look real bad. It's going to come down to the lane execution. I think it is favor for him if they can execute it. So they have that going for them. But again, these little things have not... The game's tightening up, right? It's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, if this were a random league game halfway through the season, I'd have a lot more faith in this Enigma lane to go that way. In this game, like, who knows? He may just go down there and die 5 times. Like, anything's possible. So,
in which case, we kind of go back to what we started with in this, the experience, right? Which is something that definitely favors OG. Huligani, all new here to TI. The first time that they're playing that potential elimination game. All except for Natsumi. First time for him. So we'll see how he performs under that pressure going into this game 3. Sounds like you favor OG a bit. Draft. Does that change based off of teams? Like coming into this, did you favor one side or the other before you saw the draft?
Favored OG a little. I think experience does count for something here. I like their draft again slightly better on paper if this were a vacuum, but this is a elimination game. It's going to be a tight game, a tense game, probably a slow game. And I think Huligani, like, they have Drow. I think Drow is the queen of this game if it goes 60, 70 minutes. Like, we've seen what this hero can do in the ultra late, right? If you're going to pick a hero in the ultra late that carries you over the finish line no matter what the hell else is happening, it's probably Drow or Phantom Lancer, an absolute free Phantom Lancer game, or Invoker. And those are my picks.
Isn't Kez one of the most dangerous heroes at this tournament?
It is. I'm not saying this is a huge margin, right?
But Kez doesn't have the same itemization pathways against Drow Ranger, right?
No, it's a tough matchup for him.
You don't build any armor items for this hero.
If the gap gets created, Kez gets annihilated. That's just how it goes down. You also have a bunch of stuns. You have Shaker and Centaur that can find this Kez, and there is no save. That's maybe the one big thing for OG in this game. If you start on the two cores that have to go in the front, nobody can bail them out. And that's a scary proposition. You might see some of those Aeon discs that we saw in Game 1 come out, just so you can combo break it yourself. I honestly wouldn't mind it. I think we will eventually see an Aeon disc on this Pango. And can you buy one on Kez? Probably not. Maybe Wind Waker on somebody eventually. I don't know. Pretty bad Wind Waker lineup too. Just hard to get a save in this lineup as OG. I think that's the one weakness here against a lineup that can absolutely just combo you down. Whereas you have Tombstone, you have Cart. Again, this Undying Centaur combination has been pretty devastating in this event overall. It's just very hard to all in these big turret heroes, and they reign supreme in the late game, so you kind of have to. And the saves reign supreme.
And if this Game 3 wasn't nerve-wracking enough, got a little bit of a pause, deal with some sort of tech issue here just to make them sweat a bit more.
Oh, yeah, they're sweating all right.
And corrupted already tipping Tims, who are standout players for this series so far, Avery.
Ooh,
I think Tims played very well in his Marana.
Yeah, he landed some clutch arrows, that's for sure. Again, I think the OG supports have maybe looked the best. I think Natsumi's honestly had a pretty good series. It's just that some of the situations have been rough. On the side of Huligani, I think Mirage had a really nice game too.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the supports have honestly been playing really well. It's just their support duos have been really clunky. So I think it's like hard for them to show off from that position, but they have been very decisive in the moments where they needed to be. So I'm kind of looking for Sayush to have a pop-off game here. He performed pretty well in that game too. Kind of looking at those two players. Mid and 4. Maybe for both teams.
The battle begins.
No invasion once again. We have the smokes and hold high grounds for a 2-2 split. Wait, no, a late smoke here from OG. We were asking, where were the early first blood shenanigans?
Where is this even going? What is... I'll be honest, I'm lost on what this was. Just to block the ancient camp?
I thought surely they were just going to go kill the centaur.
I think maybe they thought someone was going to be running top through that area to go to the lane. That was a possibility. But no cigar. They do get a camp block.
Ooh, what a bushwhack. That was like a vacuum, man. It just pulled him all the way back for first blood. He dropped the tombstone, but the tombstone's going to be dealt with here. That's some bonus gold, 125 gold on top of the 316. What a start for OG.
That was a terrible death. There's no way around it. He gave up all that level 1 firepower to an Enigma lane that you get to level 3, you get to level 5 faster. That's where this hero shines. Don't have Eidolon clear down here. And you gave it pretty much for free, including that tombstone. Rough stuff for Respect down here. Not the start he was looking for. So you're going to have to make it up on these other lanes. See how much Corrupted can get top versus game 1. That was one of the most miserable games he's probably ever played in Pro Dota. This time he's already doing a little better. Has the Willow to tank some spells, fight back. Always nice having a range 4 just to occupy some time. Missed that range creep, but we won't talk about that.
I mean, they threatened Natsumi already, so
that's
were showcasing. Good. Like game 2, they had the Invoker, which kind of pushed it over the edge, but even still, seems the Dark Willow Centaur is enough to threaten a Kez. Mid lane matchup, 7 and 5 for Mirage. What you're looking for is better CS over this Pango, utilizing Enchant Totem as best you can, but Yopaj has 5 denies as well.
He's kind of cooking early on. Hard to fight these totems for the CS. Especially as we get more levels in the physical damage that you can just pound into this Pango. It hurts. You're looking for that potential solo kill with the early level 6. You can get there with some extra deny experience advantage.
Keep hitting them with the Maledict Echo Slash. Make sure that Huligani do not ever have enough resources to go on Natsumi comfortably. Very free way to harass, that's for sure.
A little pulling for the water rune, but the lanes early on kind of going OG's way. Should be happy with the top 3 CS. The Enigma got the early kill bottom. Already pushing towards that level 3. Getting some nice harass on this Undying. Respect not having a fun time in this lane. Very tough lane for him. A little courier death as well. That's some team gold. Big wave going into Mirage. He's going to have to fight for the range creeps. Yopaj, how many denies can you get here? He's got Glyph it, okay.
Pops the Glyph, really trying to mess with Mirage here.
Also, Glyph
but
for
he's going to take a lot of damage.
They're just shoving in the Drow. Undying dead again. Eidolon swarming. This lane is out of control.
Completely surrounded. No way out. This is the power of the Enigma. Get the early levels, get the Eidolons splitting, and just overwhelm them with firepower.
This is looking rough down here. This Enigma's fat. He's going to have a very fast drum. And it feels like every drum charge is going to be another kill.
Yep.
This game. There's just nothing you can do about it.
Raven frees up Tims to secure water rune. Now, Mirage does go to the right side of the map, so he will still get a refill on his bottle, fortunately for him.
Very even lanes other than that Enigma pressure bottom. So that might be something that can break this game open. Time for Raven to shine with all that experience. Not a traditional offlane player. He knows what carries like. He knows how to abuse carries.
That is true.
Been on the other side of this a couple times.
Now, Raven's been playing for quite a long time, so he was playing way back in the day when there was like Universe Enigma being played. Corrupted, making a run for it here, trying to limit the Maledict damage. Still has a fair fire to work with, so should be fine, and his Helm of Iron will help him regen back up, but you can see it's just building up over time. It's just so much easier for this duo of the Witch Doctor, Kez, to threaten you. They don't have to heavily commit. It's low mana cost, low cooldown.
Very easy. Throw the Maledict, throw the Echo Slash, Kazurai Katana, burn on top of Maledict damage. That's just your whole HP pool. Now you gotta go cut waves. We'll see if OG try and kill the Centaur on the wave cutting like they did in the game 1, or just rotate a hero to the gate bottom and put all the pressure into this Drow lane. I'd be really tempted to do that, because right now, Snowy, he's a little far up. They're pulling the wave down here too, so that means this catapult wave is gonna go in. No, it clips that Radiant wave. That might be lucky for Huligani down here, because Raven is just pushing in. They want to dive this. They want to massacre these heroes under tower with catapult, with Eidolons.
Huligani might even need a core hero with the Drow Ranger already being grabbed by the Bushwhack. This is starting terribly. The Tombstone's going to be dealt with. Raven's going to be low. They hit him with a blood grenade. Respect's not going to be able to finish him off, and he's going to be chased away. Skem keeping Raven healthy. See if they can get, yep, got the Bushwhack on him. Natsumi joins in on this fight. So it's not the cores of Huligani. It is an additional hero from OG. In a fight that they were already winning. They had wanted to make sure, absolutely certain, that they were going to destroy this Huligani safe lane.
Very nice execution in this Enigma lane. Exactly what you wanted with this pick.
And Yopaj cutting across from mid. They'll take out all 3 heroes that were sitting here.
That's going to be 4 plus a courier plus that tower. Potentially. Off of that single catapult wave. You're TPing Mirage down here now. I mean,
yeah, well, what's he going to do with it, though? It's a little bit too late. The chaos is already gone. There's no sneaky Echo Slam for him to really get here.
He was hoping for just some overextension with summons. He had an Arcane Rune. Probably would have been happy to blow the load if they gave some sort of opening to him. Will at least kill this catapult. Defends the tower. But costs him a lot on the map. And it's not like if he defends this, you can send the Drow back here anyway. The lane is gone.
Yeah, you already see the Drow Rangers defaulting to the jungle a bit earlier than Drows want to do so, but what's done is done.
All right, OG showing up in game 3 with some nice lane execution. It's going to give him a nice early advantage.
Chasing after Mirage, might still get him too. Good juke. Gets away from the bushwhack.
What's going on?
He's still kind of sandwiched, but Mirage is going to kick Tim's out of the way. Push away from the Enigma. The tower does still die. Nobody TP'd in. He's trying to go back in for the Echo Slam. Raven's not going to give it to him. He's going to be surrounded, kited, and pretty easily killed. Not even worth using the Echo Slam at this point. He's got 10 wand charges. Could stay alive for a little bit longer if he really wants to, and he does, but he will die all the same. Tim's is dominating at 8 minutes.
He's owning this game. That single bushwhack bottom that killed the Undying at the start has snowballed this game so much.
Yeah.
He's above the drow. What a performance. He's about to hit level 6. Arcane Boot's done. This squirrel is a monster. OG, they're like, nice scale, bro. It'd be a shame if you had no lanes to farm at 8 minutes.
Yep. And I think the Centaur doesn't even feel comfortable really laning too much against the Kez
No way.
Mirage is trying to salvage things, moving out of his mid lane, which allowed Yopaj to push in mid, hit the tower a bit.
And I think he got baited a little bit by that Arcane Rune. He's thinking like, you know, I'm going to go down here and Arcane Rune Echo Slam this and maybe get a kill, maybe get some creeps. And you just end up in no man's land. Waste a lot of your time, waste that power rune. You end up dying anyway. Now you're delaying your blink.
And I was going to say, Huligani don't even have the stacks in the triangle. But OG have already circled out the triangle as a potential invasion. First, they're going to go for Corrupted, though. Saw the opportunity. The Exo Slash. Got a clip on him. And Maledic not high enough level to kill Corrupted, though. So close to level 6. But yeah, you could see OG are not going to let them get this kind of recovery. Immediate push in. I mean, OG, I feel like this is the best OG has looked in the entire tournament.
Yeah, it really is. They're playing a very crisp early game. Exactly to their style. Exactly what this Enigma pick wanted. Tim's lining up a sharpshooter into no man's land. I don't know where that was.
He just kind of panicked that he was in a bad spot and wanted to get down the cliff.
I mean, there's 0 kills on the board for Huligani. So they're sweating a little bit right now. And for OG, next move, bring this Enigma behind the mid-tier 1. If that move connects and they get a fight out of that with the early drum, with the Natsumi Kez that can join that, and a Centaur that has no presence, it's going to be a disaster for Huligani.
Respect, dropping a high ground tombstone. Mirage trying to catch him with the Echo Slam, but it's not going to happen, and the Enigma is on his way.
Oh boy.
This is the problem. You're ahead like this, the game, the textbook plays. An experienced team like OG are not going to whiff on them.
Now you don't have a tombstone to defend this.
Though this is a nice pickup.
Okay, yeah.
Skem actually trying to get too aggressive with his team on the right side of the tower. He pushes in on the left side, gets caught.
That's definitely awkward. Just gonna send the Enigma back bottom. Kind of missed that opening with the tombstone being down. Thought OG were gonna bring everybody for this play. Had a catapult in mid too. That was a nice minute to make that sort of move over. But it's fine. I mean, you don't throw too many lives away here.
They've only had so much more time to keep this Earthshaker down before the Blink Dagger is up. One more kill, perhaps, before the Blink is here. Stampede trying to dodge. Mirage gets away from the Rolling Thunder. Nice play.
Another good disengage. They're going to bring the Enigma again, though. Once more.
Siege Wagon's still alive. They actually keep the tower from hitting it by taking up some shots. Got the initiation on Respect. No tombstone up. Fisher comes across trying to slow this down, but an easy swashbuckle kill. Bramble goes out, does some damage, but Skem can keep everybody healthy, including himself.
Well, that was a pretty successful move for OG. Mirage got something out of that. He had a stack, and Tim's walked near it. And he felt the pain of the Echo Slam on that stack that reverberated into him, so that'll complete the blink for the Shaker. A very efficient play for Mirage, though his tower dies in the process.
Right, he needed that blink because this was OG. Without that kind of threat, they were very clearly confident about their chances of taking any fight against Huligani. Maybe the Blink Dagger changes things, or maybe OG just keep playing with this unparalleled confidence. I haven't really seen from them in, I feel like, in a minute.
All right, looking good right now. They have Mage Slayer on the Kez, Drum plus Vessel shortly for Raven, and we just saw Diffusal for the Pango. So a really nice set of early fighting items here. You're pretty much happy to take any engagement where you can combine the cores. Because what do you have if you're Huligani? You have Helm on the Centaur, just a farming item. Drow is not going to show up in this game for a long time. So it's just all in the Blink Shaker. If you can account for the Blink Shaker, you're favored in fights by a wide margin as OG. Gonna smoke Yopaj in with that newly finished Diffusal.
Yeah, go for the Drow.
Looking for for the Drow down here.
I mean, all the carries are going to be farming these camps. It's pretty textbook, so you know where they're going to be at. Question is, do you get lucky on the timing? How far away is he from the tier 2 area? Looks like they spotted the Undying, and they'll collect that kill instead.
That's Vessel charges. It's not the worst sequence there.
Blink in from the Earthshaker. Hit by Cass, though. In a bit of trouble. And the Maledictant, some damage on him. The Fissure separated him from the supports and will not keep it going. Not without the Echo Slam, which is coming up in 5 seconds.
If you're OG, what do you do with this advantage? I think you maintain your mid presence behind this Pango with supports. You let Enigma farm out bottom with that ward that got placed deep down there. You can set up kills on the Drow if she rotates in here. And you let Natsumi control top. Like, this lane's just never going in from the Centaur or his Dom, because he can just sit up here until he has a Deso. So the map looks pretty straightforward to play right now. You just keep poking anybody who shows up around these runes. They will do just that. That's going to be another pickup.
Misses there to stop the Rolling Thunder. Stampede goes off. Sayush, nice dodge there. Doesn't get hit by the swashbuckle. Yopaj misses the kill. A grappling claw. Okay, I think he got him with the Echo Slash. Maybe that should be enough. Yeah, he'll run him down.
They got the Drow. That's a bigger prize, though.
Oh, yeah, that's massive. Raven picks up that kill. Now Mirage. He pops the wand, but can't get the blink out of here. 2 and 12. OG with a 6,000 net worth lead. The pressure is mounting up, and Huligani are crumbling under it.
These OG supports showing up again in Game 3. This Skemp Docta is just straight nasty.
It is.
He is getting given a very good situation for it, right? It's like the dream. You're just playing against a sacked Centaur offlane that you can snowball your game off of, but he's made some nice rotations. He collected on that Drow kill bottom in combination with Raven. He's finding some really nice openings here. And of course, we talked about Tim's earlier. I mean, he just demolished that bottom lane.
Respect did take the enemy wisdom shrine, so they got double 14-minute shrines. Not that that undoes all the damage that OG has wreaked upon them, but at least they got something.
Just got to keep playing aggressive here if you're OG. You're so much stronger right now. Two-man smoke with the Shaker blink. Just looking for any sort of breathing room, any
Raven
sort of
doesn't really have to show, though. He's just putting Eidolons down the lane.
Could be a nice bait on this
Bait
Drow.
out Drow Ranger, yeah. Bushwhack's not going to land. Here comes Spramples, but the Drow Ranger's still going to die. What a bait. They just give up their carry. Sure, they got Raven for it, but it's not looking good for them at all unless they can stop Yopaj from chasing down Mirage. Okay, it's just a 1-1 split.
Honestly, it's probably worth it for Huligani here.
They're far enough behind. It might take some sacrifices in order to claw something back.
Why is there a mid-wave going into tier 4s? All right, I don't know what that was about, but some creeps went on a mission.
I'm going to say some Helmadom shenanigans from the Centaur.
Yes, but how'd they end up in mid? Whatever.
I think they probably, I bet they went through triangle, straight and then straight down, you know?
Some missed gold. At least the Shaker gets a nice injection off that bottom kill. That was a killing spree on Raven, so 500 gold. That's why that exchange is a little worth it there. You don't like to see your Drow die, but honestly, you need your other heroes enabled more at this point. He's going straight back to bottom. This is just a death zone down here, dude. I would not want to be farming this wave out.
And Huligani still have not found this ward. That is making so many of the reads. Skem just cruising past respect. No respect indeed.
He's looking at him. He's like, you don't want none of this. I'm the doctor.
And they jump on him. So now that ward should definitely be right.
It's done its job, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Natsumi hoping to get his first Deso charge here with the silence. Lots of damage done, and the Shadow Realm does not protect you against the tick damage. He still had another 350 damage that was stacked up on him there. Without Rolling Thunder. Didn't need to be used to kill the Undying. Will be popped to kill the Drow Ranger. Huligani.
It's just a feeding lane.
Yeah, they're just throwing heroes down lanes, and OG is there to collect.
Rough map state for them right now. It's only the Shaker that can create any sort of breathing room, find any sort of opening. And all he's seen is some Eidolons in most of these situations.
Trying to bait him into a high ground ward, high ground tombstone setup. It's not happening.
Does have an Echo Slam back up. Gives you a little more options here. But these heroes are starting to become tanky. You don't want to end up in a situation where you go in with Echo Slam and it's not enough. $8K gold lead for OG. Probably the best early game we've seen of them. Very clean, very well executed.
And Raven will actually go for an early blink tag. I'm a bit surprised by that. Well, I guess it's not necessarily about the black hole.
This ward is...
Yeah, this is ridiculous, man. Natsumi lying in wait here.
He's dead.
And the Dark Will is still going to take out to the Maledict.
That ward probably got them 5,000 net worth or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's ridiculous. It's absurd how much work it did.
Continuing the hunt. They're going to try and sandwich Drow Ranger.
It's pretty deep. You're really giving nothing to Huligani here.
Thunder activated. Got a couple of hits. Stampede used to dodge. The rest of the Rolling Thunder keeps Mirage alive for now.
But you're not farming anything.
No.
There's no camp control. The Ancients were blocked for most of this game too, by the way.
Yeah, with that early smoke that they did, right?
They re-blocked it again as well. It got blocked for almost 10, maybe more minutes.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle
There's that tier 2 bottom. They're going to play in another lane ward down here. Another 2 wards, in fact.
Yeah, why not? I hope that our Drow Ranger does not go back to bottom lane for like 10 minutes because...
Absolute death zone down there. And quick Roshan for OG. I like this play call. Still have a minute while it's on this side. Very clean, very quick. You have the drum, you have the Deso. More than fast enough here.
Blink Dagger for Natsumi as his third item. Cool idea when you've got such a big lead and an extra life.
And you'll have Blink Dagger on all 3 cores.
He is going to take.
So you have some really nice jump synergy. Just go in and insta-pop anybody.
And Natsumi right now, straight Echo Slam. Team's not long enough for the Centaur. And they get him. All right. Got the Aegis. Now run.
Got a big reaction, too.
Is coming with some heat. 10 seconds till Stampede. Sad for Corrupted. That means he will be caught here, though the Lotus Orb is going to bounce back. Nice cast. Slow things down just a tad bit.
Well, that's Aegis gone.
It is.
It's worth a little something in this game. I don't know if OG care too much. They're just going to go straight Tormentor by the looks of it. No, they're going for kills. They want to snowball the map.
Look at this setup, though. Raven stumbles right into a Tombstone Bedlam. He turns around and black holes them with all these Eidolons. They still have a chance to kill the Enigma, but it's going to cost them both their supports. And Raven's not dead yet. Oh, the Tombstone easy. They got the heals. He's fine. Oh, no.
They lost Mirage
Earthshaker, too. I mean,
it's crumbling.
This is the best of OG versus the worst of Huligani in this game 3.
They're crumbling a little bit under the pressure here, under the gun, trying to make some plays happen out of nothing. This Troll Summoner probably got the best thing out of the map in the last minute.
Yeah, he's gotten 2 towers. Got the top one, he got the bottom one.
He's the hero we need right now.
Yeah, he's the strongest hero that Huligani got. And he's about to die too. That is rather fitting, rather poetic.
I mean, that support setup, I was looking at it, I'm going, this kind of looks good. You're on the high ground, but
yeah, if you would
black hole you.
Well, I mean, you can terrorize.
Yeah, they needed
could have terrorized that situation as he runs into the high ground and still instantly bedlam. But I think they just thought he was going to 100 to 0 real fast.
Well, that's going to compound the advantage here, and you got to expect this Tormentor's going to be done pretty soon. Get to build into some nice scaling items on the Pango and the Enigma. Gem is already out for Skem as well. So that's going to create even more map control issues. The vision weren't already bad enough, and he gets rewarded with a shard. Switcheroo online. This Witch Doctor is in the flow state, man. He's feeling it.
Yeah, there is nobody on the side of Huligani. None of these cores have benefited from the chaos that has been this bottom lane. The Centaur just got a little bit of recovery, but he's barely ahead of anybody on the side of Huligani, and they are all behind the 3 cores of OG. The supports are behind their counterparts as well. They're playing up against a hefty advantage, a 12,000 net worth lead for OG. Another smoke play from them.
This one's a little difficult to land because all your vision's bottom lane. So you just have to run into darkness. You do get a haste rune on the Pango. That helps.
Makes them play with a little less fear. Oh, nice jump from Respect. Unfortunately, they also had jumps with the aforementioned Blink Dagger builds from all 3 of their cores.
The damage is going to come out really fast. You're going to amp it up with this Desolator. It amps all the Pango damage. There's some nice minus armor going through on heroes that do not have a lot of natural armor in this game. I'm really worried for Mirage. If Mirage gets hit by anything, he's just evaporated. He's sitting on 9 armor. What do you
Smoke run into the Enigma. They're going to blow the trigger, and will it be enough this time around? Oh my god, he almost got off another black hole. They're still have a chance to get an extra kill here. Tim stomped up. Can they get another double edge here? Bushwhack lands. Mirage dies to Natsumi. There's that Blink Dagger into play, and the Rolling Thunder Blink Dagger from Yopaj as well to keep Tims alive.
Stampede gave him the extra damage there to bring that Enigma down. That Bushwhack almost bailed out the situation entirely. OG still collect on it. I don't think they're too sad about that. More Deso charges, more Snowball for the 2 big physical damage dealers. That's going to be Ags done for the Pangolier. Every time you try and find an opening in this game, you're just met with resistance. And then your fallback is supposed to be the Drow Ranger, but he got so debilitated in that lane phase. The recovery is just insanely slow here.
Yeah. It's 24 minutes in, and it already feels like we know Huligani is going to come down to a high ground defense.
Probably, yeah. Which, they do have some decent high ground defense.
Yeah, for sure.
So they can play for it. It's going to be another 5 Blink Dagger game, huh? Pretty spicy. Definitely nice when you're snowballing this hard. Can backfire investing that much gold in an item that doesn't do anything in the heads-up fight, but man, when you're this far ahead, it doesn't matter. Just gonna jump on anybody, anytime, anywhere, any place. Not like this, not like this.
Just like that, Yopaj. Oh, got a little stuck, had to use his roll up to course correct there and will actually TP away.
Okay.
Natsumi is, well, I was going to say he's kind of alone, if possible, for the Centaur and Earthshaker to get there, but he just kills the support, and the 2 cores back away.
There's no way you want anything to do with this Kez right now.
Lotus Orb getting rid of the Malphite stun. Smart play. Tim's unable to get the Bushwhack out in time.
Space created.
Little bits of space, little bits of time for the Drow Ranger to hit Ancient Camps.
Getting a little worried about the level differential too, man. It's pretty severe. 10 level difference, 30% for OG. This Kez is level 19. It's tough. Tough to deal with. And sometimes I feel like this happens to the mid-shaker too when you don't get those team fights going your way. You just fall behind in XP because you're just not going to farm the map as efficiently. He needs to find some core kills here. Big smoke from OG.
It's coming at you.
Straight back to the old hunting ground.
Yeah, they won't have the Stampede this time around. It's got to be all up to Snowy to activate a Hurricane Pike at the right time, but pulled back in by the Bushwhack. Beautifully done by Tims.
Too many Blink Daggers in this lineup to ever escape.
Yeah.
Took his little Cobalt too. No mercy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So Roche can spawn 15 seconds. You get this tier 2 top. It's a fast spawn. I like people to just take it and go high ground pretty quickly. And this one, and you caught the Shaker mid on the TP out.
Put him in the tomb. What? How can he get out, though?
You gonna come out or what, bro?
The Rolling Thunder just lasts too damn long.
These kills are really negating any sort of advantage the Centaur split push is creating. And she has another Dark Troll Summoner that's been doing some work. Trying to sneak another Wisdom Shrine. No success on that one. Both are going to be gobbled up. That XP advantage continuing to compound. Up to 16 level difference? 17 level difference?
Yeah.
What is that? 17 level.
They have a whole nother hero. And the hero is higher level than they are.
Oh.
What a kill this would be if they got it.
That's a big one. 1,000 gold on that streak.
Sick pickup for Huligani. Still a long ways to go to bring back that 16,000 net worth, but this is a momentary reprieve.
You need some reprieves in this game. Still very worried about this Kez as the primary factor in this game.
You need like a, what, 20-minute reprieve?
Yeah, if you can kill Kez, this game will shift considerably.
Corrupted, blinks away. And blinks the right direction too. Spotted, Lotus Orb reveals, or gets rid of the reveal rather. Still gonna be chased down by Natsumi though. This hero is just too damn mobile for you to be able to get away. He grappling claws and blinks, and he easily catches up even though he got juked a little bit.
I like the help voice line.
It is pretty.
Brother, there's no help for you.
Corrupt is just spamming that one nonstop.
He has not had a lot of help in this series.
And OG are just
Kez.
keeping the hits coming, man. Every single time, it's one or two heroes going for a kill. Natsumi is here. He made his way all the way across the map to join this play. So it's not even like they're lacking in numbers for these plays. Top and bottom, they're everywhere.
The Kez is a one-man wrecking ball. You just jump anything you see. Instant jump, instant silence, overwhelming damage. Amp damage spawns in the river. Roche is available. Big things to collect here for OG. Big game for Natsumi to show up. First TI. Elimination.
Yeah, he's popping off.
There's BKB for the Drow. You have a little bit of damage and ability to stand your ground now. Stampede to recreate the gap if the Kez gets on top of you. And this is what you're looking for as this game progresses. It's not out of reach yet. Drow has won some ridiculous games here so far. And TI. This could be another one if you throw a high ground fight or give them the opening. Big Echo Slam, some hook stomp.
It's surprising that the win probability isn't higher, honestly. Like, I understand the possibility of the Echo Slam team fight. Drow Ranger high ground.
Yeah, I think it's just Drow. His hero's, he's second net worth. He's still pretty farmed.
That's true. He's caught up to Pango and Enigma.
Yep. Like I said, this game is not out of reach. OG still has some work to do to turn this advantage into a win here. You throw one fight going high ground, this game is going to look wildly different.
You know, we talked about before this being elimination matches. We talked about the history of Swiss. Last year, we had Nemesis and Boom play up against each other as the 2-0-3 teams. Well, do you remember who was on those rosters?
Raven was on it.
Raven was on Nemesis, and Tim's was on Boom.
Yeah. So now they get to harness the mutual experience from that.
Yep, the mutual misery. See if they can take somebody else out from another region instead of C taking out C. Midnight Pulse revealing Corrupted, sitting there grappling claw on the Lotus Orb. That's pretty funny.
He tanks the gank.
He does. And, well, Sayush will also tank the gank. How many heroes need to take the gank? The gem will be stolen away from them. All this to keep the Drow Ranger safe.
Go high ground. Definitely should consider the high ground here. You have a banner. Still have Aegis for 3 minutes. You have the BKB Black Hole backup.
Double Siege Wagon push.
Oh, yeah. Sieges. Tough spot for Huligani. The pressure is at its peak. What can you come up with here in a do-or-die situation? It's going to have to be one hell of an Echo Slam.
And Tim's isn't going to make the initiation easy for you. He just has a quick poke, stop of the Blink Dagger. And tier 3 down, denied by Snowy.
You just don't have anybody to send in to bait a clump. It's, you know, it's Drow on the front line poking them, but OG are not going to overbite seeing this Drow. They're just going to put Natsumi on the front line with 2 lives.
Yeah, we already saw this MO from game 2.
Gotta respect the tombstone save here too. You don't want to just try and go aggressive and all-in black hole somebody. Even if there's no cancel for the black hole, that guy gets tombstone. Suddenly you sacrifice the position, you get Echo Slam. That's how you lose a fight. So I don't mind them playing this disciplined right now. Still have 2 minutes on this Aegis to make something happen. Swift Blink done for Natsumi as the damage continues to ramp up here. He is absolutely devastating if he can get on top of anybody.
Map. It's just getting smaller and smaller. It's just becoming only the Drow Ranger who's getting farm at this rate.
Oh. He went to the bottom lane, Austin.
Yeah.
The death zone. Why did you go back here?
It's been a good 20 minutes since the massacre in the bottom lane, and we're going to revisit that massacre. Now, he does have a BKB. He may not get a chance to TP out. Close call. The black hole just a bit too late from Raven.
Yeah, no Chasm Stone or extra AoE to get in the range. That's a very nice survival there.
Look at this, though. Hey, show 3 heroes over here, and boom. Natsumi is just as easily up to the top lane. Again, OG are playing incredibly quick.
They even found the Centaur.
Yeah, Corrupted, he was trying to take advantage of some space, but OG are making sure the side lanes are on lockdown. I feel like this is very impressive how well they've done this. Lotus Orb trying to remove the tick there, but there is too many options from OG.
And they're going high ground a little bit. They're going to poke it here. Still have that Aegis for a minute.
Why not?
Did commit the roll. A little awkward. Do you have roll and black hole on cooldown? I just don't know what you can do with this opening. Send some arrows in his way.
Interesting damage test. Drow Ranger caught by the initiation, followed up by the cast. Got him inside the tombstone after a 4-staff there. Now he's going to pop out, make a run for it. Natsumi's trying to hunt him down, but they got the stomp on him. And now, on the second life, he may have to use the BKB here. Yeah, Fisher's going to come out, instant BKB, grappling claw on out of there. Not the worst, I guess, for Huligani, though they did use double buybacks for that.
Yeah, the buybacks are really expensive here. Now you're just completely all in on the Drow. Your economy got killed. All that Centaur split pushing down the drain. Might mean OG wait for the next Aegis, though.
Yeah.
You buy yourself a little time to try and get to another item on the Drow. Probably that butterfly here. We'll see if Natsumi commits for MKB preemptively. No, it commits for Daedalus. Just wants to maximize the damage. Almost level 25 as well. He is going to absolutely decimate this Drow if you don't get the evasion procs.
Nice lane ward there from Skem, getting a lot of information on the other side of the map. Massive push out to the bottom lane, trying to find farm where they can for heroes that are not just their Drow Ranger. The Earthshaker and especially the Centaur pushed in very, very deep now. Whoa! Natsumi just goes through it instantly. Pops a Raptor dance. I'm not sure if that was a misclick or if he really thought there was a stack of heroes there.
I think he's just preemptively countering some stack. Find Corrupted up here.
I gotta hit him with a swashbuckling nose! Corrupted has got to be saying, how the hell did you know I was there? Oh my god, that Rolling Thunder was just inches away.
space created.
Look at that, once again,
cross-map,
OG, as soon as they show on the other side of the map, you think surely this left-hand side, it's got to be safe, but it's not the case. They've got Raven on top of the Drow Ranger, ready to go with a black hole. You're not getting away this time.
Easy black hole for Raven if he can ever find this Drow. Even if you come in with a clutch tombstone save, it's still going to set the fight up really well. Nice cross-map movement here from OG, just controlling everything, continuing to scale with all their heroes. Even this Hoodwink is massive. Level 20, looking towards a Hex. Gonna play for that next Roshan. That will end the game here unless Huligani can somehow contest, or I guess just have the best high ground hold of all time.
Yeah. Gone to the BKB uncorrupted. I do not know how much that changes, though. You don't have any of the really key items. You don't have armor to protect yourself. You don't have a card to save the Drow Ranger.
It's rough. If he had the Ags on top of the BKB, I'd say there's some plays to be made. Just this BKB, it's not going to keep you alive in the middle of the fight.
You can't even really show heroes on the tier 3. They have to spam out Fisher from a long range to stop these waves pushing in.
The only decision you have is contest Roche or fall down 30, 40k and defend high ground. Right. It's never an easy call. This lineup's definitely better at defending high ground than contesting. I mean, that's not even close. You'll probably play for that option. Maybe look for some fissure blocks on the high ground. Tombstone save the black hole, something of this nature. Find a Tim's pick off. He's got Aeon.
He's got Aeon disc, as does Skem.
Didn't get the blink off. He's dead.
Yopaj thought about the Rolling Thunder. He's got to wait for his team to get a bit closer, but they can still make a go soon if Huligani stick around like this. Sitting on this low ground is a dangerous affair. Sayush is going to poke up, see what's here. He's going to immediately be met by Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, he's not going to like what's there.
And I believe that means Huligani, they're still sticking around. Hate the stomp. Skem, that's another Aeon disc. It's going to be procs. Might be able to get that kill with the BKB. This is trouble. So we're trying to get away. Natsumi chasing after him. The Fisher block actually locked him in. The Drow Ranger sees an opportunity. He gets buried in a black hole on 3 and forward. That is Raven. A death blow to Huligani as they wipe out the entirety of the team.
He was just waiting on the side. The cooldown was coming up. He's praying for the clump. And boy, did Natsumi deliver it for him. All eyes on this Kez, trapped in Fissure Jail. You overcommitted for him, and you forgot about the black hole. That might be the death sentence on this series.
Raven saying it is not going to be 2 years in a row that I go 0-4. We're going to have a fighting chance here, and GG is called from Huligani.
A nice clutch game from OG. They absolutely showed up. Got themselves a very
GG ya
OG.
2-1 ya, masih bisa selamat.
They had some scale, but they never got there because the lead just grew so fast and exploded through that bottom lane. A beautiful game from Raven. He played this really well, played the lane well, made the nice rotations to mid. It's not that everything went 100% well, but he had the fundamental ideas correct.
Masih
and then
lega
he just bought the
ya.
right items, scaled, had some nice black hole drops at the end, and that's all you want from that pick. That's enough to do it. Really nice game from Natsumi as well. He looks really good on this Kez. I mean, that's got to be a go-to hero for him at this point. And just clutched it up in an elimination game. That Kez Witch Doctor lane. Man, Huligani just threw that Centaur to that lane again, and what was the difference in the game plan, really? Like, the early portion went a little better with the Willow, but then this Shaker pick just never really came online.
Yeah, the other lanes win so badly, particularly that safe lane, that the Dark Willow kind of got pulled out of the lane. Centaur was left alone on an island. We've seen how that goes against the Kez. And yeah, the Earthshaker never really gave them too much to work with. I have to say, though, OG played with such a blistering pace, man. The number of times that they went for a play on one side lane, and soon as they get that kill, mass TP to the other side and punish Huligani. I mean, I felt like they got like 10,000 net worth off that play alone. Just this rapid pendulum back and forth.
And a lot of that was really good wording. Like, very nice place wards in this bottom jungle, and then you're kind of controlling the upper half of the map with the Kez threat plus that outpost TP threat. You blocked Ancients this game. A lot of the sentries were on point from Skem. Again, OG supports did work in this game 3.
Kayaknya dilepas
They
lagi
played
sih.
the lanes beautifully. They set the map up with the vision, and they made these kind of moves easy for the cores to connect on. It's just the cherry on top. A 4-man
Tapi ya kali
black
ini
hole at TI,
Enigmanya
feel
sih.
good about that. He didn't even react.
Enigmanya
He's
main
like,
banget,
just another
guys.
day at the office.
Kuncinya ada di
Another
Enigma.
average C-pub. Easy.
Sick stuff for OG. And again, they looked better than they've looked
Yeah, it really did.
perhaps the entire tournament. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like in their next series as they go 1-3 and see if they can get another win to get themselves into that elimination round. But Huligani, we are going to say goodbye to them. They ended up 0-4.
Nice
Rough
try,
position
Huligani.
to be in. We
You
know
win the
there is
next
some
TI.
skill here.
For sure.
But just having, I mean, you have said time and time again, experience matters so much when it comes to TI.
It
You
does.
don't have to have, everybody on the team having multiple TIs behind you, but even just having one or two people inside the game with you to give you that leadership and give you that calming edge in such tense scenarios. It means a lot.
It absolutely counts for a lot. I think we saw some of the jitter, some of the pressure get to them in this game 3. It just wasn't clean, wasn't crisp, and that's what happens, and you just got to play your best. Respect to them. They took some good games this event. They did not look like, we've seen some really just absolute trash last place teams at TI.
Yep.
Right? It was
MVP-nya
you
Hootwing.
shouldn't even be here. They were not in that category at all. Like, they were a good squad. They played some Dota. They won some games. They had some signature heroes, some threats you had to think about. Like, they showed some good Dota. And I think they can hold their heads high. You just got to get that experience and work towards some future events. And OG, they're going to try and use this momentum to catapult themselves further up the food chain.
Go back to OG. I mean, Natsumi's performance in these tight situations we talked about, being first-time TI. That was a hell of a performance by him on that
Oh,
case.
yeah.
We're going to definitely see that respect band, I would imagine, in the next series coming for OG. But we have plenty more games to get into. So we're going to take a break and head into our next series.
Oke
which is
guys, thank
going
you
to
so
be
much.
Liquid
Jangan lupa di
versus
subscribe.
Iron Wing.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And see you in the next live.